Bad information, corrupted evidence, misinformation, and just bad journalism has had the potential to ruin an entire case. And knowing when to just gracefully bow out is the difference between somebody getting their karmic justice or just walking away scot-free. So that is why it is so important when dealing with claims of this nature. Every single thing has to be correct. You need to cross your T's and dot your I's and admit your faults. Well, recently, content creators Rosanna Pansino and DogPack404 have essentially made a mockery of what is essentially plausible cause for concern. 1, Mr. Beast's mismanagement of contestants and staff's welfare, and 2, Ava Chris Tyson's affiliations to CP, as well as grooming allegations. Now, you must be wondering to yourself, how on earth is Mr. Beast tied to CP allegations? Well, because of misreporting. The information was disseminated to us incorrectly. And both DogPack and Rosanna Pansino are completely unwilling to admit that they've got a few things wrong. Willing to be so stubborn, in fact, that they are willing to corrupt extremely valid claims against Ava Chris Tyson in order to incriminate Mr. Beast. Right now, it's clear that Rosanna Pansino and DogPack have prioritized speed and sensationalism over accuracy and responsibility. This isn't ethical journalism, because honestly, we need social media just as much as we need law enforcement in order to work together to make these investigations stay grounded in facts and truth, rather than speculation. Because we are living in a new era where information is spreading faster than ever before. So responsible reporting is critical to preserving justice, as well as protecting innocent victims, and they should be at the center of this. Hi, how are y'all doing? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Hello, 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 hello. No, it's not a replay. I'm giving you some background, okay?
Pinkerton, you explain the logic and I'll provide the background.
All right. Look, it is possible to enter into someone else's dreams. Send dream trackers to go into a person's subconscious.
You know I always have to bring backup. Now, today, I was given a video by one of my researchers that they said is groundbreaking journalism, end quote. Apparently, there is a individual by the name of Zoggy Serial who created a video about the real truth behind Mr. Beast, which is supposedly supposed to debunk, according to my researcher again, 90% of what it is that DogPack404 and Rosanna Pansino had said, like, with that unequivocally, like, shuts it down. And she said the only 10% that wasn't covered, in their humble opinion, was the allegations about the ex-worker who used to work for Mr. Beast. That particular ex-worker who was involved in DV and all that kind of stuff, according to DogPack404, which obviously he was unable to corroborate as correct information. Thus, the whole internet pretty much thinking that that is kind of important information for you to at least qualify is 100% correct before you put against somebody's name. But I digress. Now, after I posted my Rosanna Pansino video, there was a lot of people who were upset with me, and that is completely fine. You are entitled to your opinions. But I have to say, I was really confused, because I felt like I'd made quite an even and fair and very nuanced video that spoke about something that everybody else wasn't speaking about. For instance, there was a lot of comments in the comment section that was saying, Paige just defends Mr. Beast because she loves Mr. Beast. I couldn't have made it any more clearer. I think if I could run a clip of like how many times I said Mr. Beast bad in that video, I don't think I could have said it any more times. You just clearly weren't listening. It wasn't going into your head. That's none of my business. That's a you problem. 1, Mr. Beast's mismanagement of contestants and staff's welfare, and 2, Ava Chris Tyson's affiliations to CP, as well as grooming allegations. I am not affiliated with Mr. Beast. I have no reason to protect Mr. Beast's good name. I don't like him, and I don't like his channel, and quite frankly, I'm not his demographic. I am a married mum of 2 in her 30s. I find his videos vapid and contributing to the later generation's lack of attention span with his fast-paced videos. In short, I don't like him or anything it is that he stands for. And his inability to grow a real beard, yet his insistence on keeping those weird rabbit whiskers on his face, honestly, totally creeped me out. So now that we've got that section clear, okay, I'm not being paid by Mr. Beast. It's coming up to Christmas. A bitch wishes she was, but we're not getting paid by Mr. Beast. I'm not on the payroll. The only person who has been paid by Mr. Beast is Jake Weddle. Okay, got that? Good. Let's continue. There was allegations stating that they had been given less than adequate food, that people weren't given their medication on time, like people who needed insulin, like diabetics. Other people having their underwear withheld from them, as well as just like hospitalizations. What? He had you in solitary confinement, my dude, and literally played torture games with you. Take your 190, and honestly, I'd ask for more, bitch. Shit. I would have never settled there. Whilst I am being critical of Dogpack 404 as well as Rosanna Pansino, I'm not disregarding everything it is that they have ever said in their videos. There are some allegations and genuine concerns that I think definitely needs to be looked at on a bigger scale than what we've got going on here at YouTube. Rosanna Pansino, as well as Dogpack, who are putting together this case to condemn Mr. Beast, Ava Chris Tyson, and all of these people, who honestly, they genuinely should condemn, but for actual allegations that are real. Ava Chris Tyson is a scumbag, quite frankly, and I hope that she gets what is coming to her. But this is not going to happen as long as we have people like Dogpack 404 and Rosanna Pansino muddying the water. And the worst thing is that I agree, Mr. Beast is a terrible boss. And there is extremely valid discourse about how larger YouTubers of this size should conduct themselves. Again, I'm gonna say this for the last time, there are valid conversations to have about Mr. Beast in his operations, his conduct, and his involvement. And I also think that there are valid discussions to talk about Ava Chris Tyson and her affiliations to some really gross, weird shit. But other things that I saw in the comment section was people feeling as if I was, you know, attacking Rosanna Pansino, and that I've got like some long-bearing grudge against Rosanna Pansino because I am jealous. I am not jealous of Rosanna Pansino. I am jealous of her kitchen. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. That is a beautiful kitchen, okay? It's a gorgeous kitchen. That kitchen is so beautiful. If I'm jealous, it's of that bitch. But beyond that, it was just kind of like really like mean-spirited, no nuance. Everyone was thinking that, you know, you're focusing on the wrong thing, and I'm like, I'm sorry, incorrect information literally has the ability to take down an entire case. So we have to be careful. We have to make sure that we're putting forward the right information, and that people fall, which happens. People say the wrong things. I've done it plenty of times myself. But it's important to do the back end work, which is sweeping up the mess it is that you've made by making clarifications. These are things that Rosanna Pansino and Dogpack, in my humble opinion, have not adequately done. And I'm never going to change my opinion. I'm never going to change my stance. I don't care if 2 million of you decide to leave. If I stand on what in the f I said, I stand on what in the f I said. And usually, 9 times out of 10, when I trust my f***ing gut, it is correct. Examples, the Mysterious Tea situation with Trisha Paytas. That video, one of my most disliked videos on the channel. There are people who come back to that video to this day to apologize for not seeing the shit it is that I saw way back when. Ethan Klein and his current controversy. There are people going on to my video to do with Ethan Klein, if you call me the K word, it's the same as calling me a racist. I don't know, something along those lines. The one that I made about 2 or 3 months ago, there are people saying, wow, this video aged like fine wine, because it was almost like I was a Negro Damas bitch. I could see into the future. But no, when I feel something in my gut, I feel something in the lowest pits of my soul, I trust it, because it's that mother's intuition, bitch. And if you're a mother, ladies, if you feel me, holler if you hear me. It is that mother's intuition. If I feel something in the deepest pits of my soul, I trust that shit. Now, usually it takes months, if not years, for the things it is that I said in the past to become true later on, or to be reflected later on. Never in my life has it taken 2 weeks. Bitch, it was 2 weeks ago that I posted that video. We're finding out yesterday that apparently all of this is complete bullshit. This is according to my researcher, who says we need to watch this video. It's monumental. It is breakdown worthy. So that is what we are going to do today. Now, I have not watched a single second of this video because I wanted to react and watch it with you guys. So I wanted to have like a moment for us to watch it together so we can have like a little bit of a viewing party to this. So we're gonna go and watch his video. The video is called The Real Truth About Mr. Beast. So now that we're all settled in, is everyone, do we all understand that vindication? That vindication is so sweet. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video.
Back on everything that we're saying. So what?
Well, because you're trying to fire me, and I want to work at this company.
I'm the CEO of this company. If I'm talking, don't interrupt.
And I've been trying to get to this point of working on Mr. Beast for a long time. Can I please have a second chance?
You were the manager of Dawson, or Dogpack 404.
I was the manager of Dogpack 404 for a time being.
Like, he looks like Ed Sheeran. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
If you had to describe the working conditions when Dawson was working with you in ideation with one word, what word would it be?
I would say it was depressing.
The war crime stuff, that was a joke. Why did you make that joke?
Actively right now, by the videos that Dawson is making, he is actively hurting the philanthropy that is helping thousands and millions of lives.
Oh, so you want to cheaply manipulate people by imitating Content Cop? I'll show you imitating Content Cop.
What we do.
Prepare for a long, convoluted fucking intro, girl. Hopefully this brings back the nostalgia of Content Cop. I don't know. I know that, like, Ian is on, like, a more positive wave. And, you know, props to him. I appreciate the learned growth. But, man, I miss Content Cop. That was like a YouTube holiday, right? Everyone knows when a Content Cop... You know where you were when a Content Cop went live, right? In the same way, you know, everybody knows where they were when Bye Sisters dropped, right? Okay, it's like people know where they were for 9/11 and Bye Sisters, okay? Like, everybody knows where they were for these events. And literally, Content Cop is in that top tier of, you know where you were when you saw Content Cop against Rice Gum, because that just ate. You know where you were when it was a Content Cop about Jake Paul. Like, we all remember.
Hey, my bowl of cereal. As most of you have probably guessed by now, this video won't just be about this alleged fraudulent and manipulative asshole. It'll also be about this confirmed fraudulent and manipulative asshole, Dogpack 404, also known as Dawson French, and his victims of manipulation. For the people who have not been exposed to his propaganda yet, Dogpack 404, or Dawson French, is an ex-Mr. Beast employee who worked there for about 3 weeks, and after being fired, made or worked on videos filled with lies about Mr. Beast. And I became suspicious of Dogpack 404 after he called me overdramatic for not wanting to spread serious accusations with unsubstantiated and easily refutable evidence. As well as because he tried to silence me with threats of slander after I started suspecting him of lying.
Wait, so what is this guy's connection to Dogpack that he had like such easy access to him? I'm kind of interested in that.
So in this video, I will be debunking close to every accusation he and the people he manipulated.
Bitch, not almost every accusation. Oh, he's calling Rosanna Pansino a victim of Dogpack 404. Now that is interesting. Let's see where this goes. Girl, color me gooped.
But Soggy, are you going to glaze the Mr. Beast, Soggy? Are you going to decry the Lunchley owning, alleged intentionally registered sex offender hiring Mr. Beast, Soggy? No. See, I think we can all agree that Lunchley, kinda cringe. Logan Paul KSI collab, kinda, that's a yikes out of 10, okay? And the fucking mold situation, that is disgustingly messed up, and I'm never eating that shit in my life. But that doesn't mean that just because this spiteful, vengeful ghoul accuses Mr. Beast of intentionally hiring a registered sex offender, that he actually did. Yeah, let's talk about the lies spun by Dogpack and Jake Weddle, that Mr. Beast knowingly hired a registered sex offender and while working at the company would refer to him by covert codename Delaware because of the crimes he committed there, and as a result is not allowed to go back into the state of Delaware, and that Mr. Beast higher-ups are using that nickname because they enjoy messed up.
Okay, so this is kind of odd because that was possibly one of the most like condemnable things about the stuff it is that we heard from Dogpack 404, and one that I genuinely believed, which was that Mr. Beast hired Delaware, was aware that he was a registered S offender, and, you know, the company were actively working to hide him, especially when it came to hiding his identity. I thought that that was very compelling when I first viewed it. So it's interesting that we're starting off with this not necessarily being correct, because that was one of the, like, on the tier list of things that I think that Rosanna Pansino and Dogpack have got wrong. That was very low on my tier list. I would never have thought that that would have been incorrect. I'm a little shook. That's by Dells. Yeah, I'm kind of a little bit shook as well.
Insider jokes like that.
When I was there, they called him Delaware. He's like, why do you call him Delaware? I didn't know. Apparently, they called him Delaware because he's not allowed to go back to Delaware. That's his nickname, colloquially. Like, you know, yeah, it's Delaware. Don't ask him why. You know. You know that he knew, and because he'll be in videos, and whenever he is, he's wearing a mask.
Can I just say, and ironically, Jake Weddle looks like one of my ex-boyfriends. Like, almost to the fucking T without the mustache.
Saying that out loud makes it sound like a contrived side plot in a badly written Netflix series, since state banishments are extremely rare. Most recent one I found was a 1-year Kentucky banishment in the year 2000. Luckily, the real story is much more boring. See, according to a anonymous Mr. Beast employee, Dustin.
Oh, shit. He said no anonymous. He was like, no, we are people who are willing to come forward and vouch for the claims and stand 10 behind them. Go. Okay. I'm in it now.
Harris, who has been working at Mr. Beast for about 6 years and went rogue because he couldn't stand Jimmy not responding to all of the misinformation being spread about not just Jimmy or the Mr. Beast company, but also about his own friends and colleagues. Well, he explained that Delaware was once a store manager at Jimmy's local Best Buy, which, for the people who don't know, Best Buy is a $20 billion valued electronics retailer company with stores all over the US. And that when Jimmy was 19,
oh my god, Dustin worked for Mr. Beast. No, I don't think they mean Dustin Daly, if that's who you're thinking of. No, this is a different Dustin.
And first started blowing up on YouTube, Jimmy realized he needed employees to improve his content. So, as a dumbass, impulsive 19-year-old randomly thrown into fame, he went to his local Best Buy and asked its employees if they wanted to work for him. Naively thinking that a multi-billion...
Angela goes, girl, we all had a Jake Weddle in our life. Not the smartest choice, but it was fun times. Well, the Jake Weddle in my life... In fact, you know what? I'm saying too much. I'm gonna shut up.
Our company would have at least made sure to not hire criminals and especially to not hire a registered sex offender as store manager. 19-year-old Mr. Beast didn't do background checks. Was that stupid? Yes. Is Delaware a piece of shit? Yes. Should Jimmy take responsibility for making that mistake? Yes. But it wasn't this fucked up master plan by Jimmy to intentionally hire an RSO. It was a dumb mistake by an inexperienced adolescent starting up a business. And you don't need to take mine or...
How long... Okay, so I need to refamiliarize, because how long was Delaware there, though? Because I can maybe forgive if you're a young, like, 19-year-old not intentionally starting a business and suddenly having a fucking empire, making a bad mistake not to do a background check. Bitch, I got researchers, not one of them have been background checks, so I can understand if you're not expecting something to grow into something, like, massive and huge that you wouldn't do those kind of things. But, like, if you've had him for a long time, like, at what point do you say, oh, that's probably not a good look if, like, the world was to know this situation right here? You know what I mean? So, like, I'm wondering, is this something that genuinely absolves Mr. Beast? Or are we just going, oh, yuck, yuck, he was so innocent? And I struggle with that one. So we'll see. Right now, not so much on this one.
For Dustin's word for it, if someone did but a shred of research, you'd find this still publicly available, almost 7-year-old video on the Mr. Beast channel, where you can see Delaware as the Best Buy store manager before he was hired at Mr. Beast. And guess what nickname was embroidered on his Best Buy uniform? Dello.
Oh, so there he's basically making out, like, the story about Delaware being, like, you know, he's a registered SO in Delaware, therefore he can't go back there. It was just a falsified story, and that the real story behind it is that he was working at Best Buy, Mr. Beast employed him at some point, and the reason he was called Delaware was because it was embroidered on his shirt. That changes the situation up just a tad.
Wow. Well, that was hard investigative research.
They called him Delaware because he's not allowed to go back to Delaware. You know that he knew, and because he'll be in videos, and whenever he is, he's wearing a mask. And whenever he is, he's wearing a mask. He's wearing a mask.
For the people thinking that he still works at Mr. Beast, no, he was fired over half a decade ago. Now, dog.
Oh, okay, bitch, he had me in the first half. I was sat there and I was thinking, girl, I don't know if this is enough. I don't think that's going to appease the people. But if he was fired over a decade ago, girl.
Before you say something along the lines of, what about the recording we showed from a real Mr. Beast employee?
Half a decade.
Talking about Delaware, do you really want me to go into detail about how you and your cronies tricked an employee into saying what you wanted him to say to support your lies, and then you guys recording him and using that recording without his consent? Okay. Hi Garrett, can you tell me a bit about how long you worked at Mr. Beast?
I was at Mr. Beast from around 2017
Not the Zoom office, I love this.
to 2021.
So you've worked there for 5 years.
High key when your background's a mess.
And could be seen as a credible ex-employee.
Yep.
You're the person who we can hear talk about Delaware in the recording Dawson or Dogback404 shows in his video. Can you tell me a bit about how that happened?
Yeah, it was not to my knowledge that I was being recorded at all. You know, I have a friend who, you know, I worked with plenty of times outside of Mr. Beast. I just thought it was just like a normal call, just checking up on him and checking up on me. And, you know, when two people speak about old places, you know, there's drama, there's gossip, there's catching up, there's, you know, et cetera, whatever. And then the next thing you know, 2 weeks later, Dogpack releases like a 12 million view video.
Oh, no, that's kind of fucked. So he didn't know that he was being recorded. He was having a phone call with an ex-colleague like he does with a lot of his ex-colleagues, chilling there shooting the shit. That's unethical. Sorry, that's unethical. You've got to at least let the person know that they're being recorded at all times.
Where, you know, I just have a really crappy voice changer over my voice. And if you know me, like, you know it's me.
So was the entire call basically just rumors you were talking about with a friend?
Yeah, it's just a friend. We're just shooting the shit. And, you know, we're just gossiping a lot, catching up on, you know, the current drama. Like, it's just, it is nothing crazy. Like
nothing you said had any actual facts behind it, as they try to construe in their video.
No, I don't think any of the stuff that we were talking about really had any facts or like evidence. It was just water cooler talk.
Would you say them using the call recording unconsensually in their video has damaged you or your life in any way?
Yeah, unfortunately. To say that it hasn't hurt me financially would be just a lie. You know, mentally, it's hurt me as well. I mean, I was manic and crazy for about a month.
Yeah, that's got to feel like an invasion of his privacy. Like, immediately that would just be like, wow, I thought you were my fucking friend. What a fucking ass thing to do. You could have at least let me know what the fuck was going on. So, yeah, I feel for him. That's got to at least feel bad. I don't know about financially implicating him, unless he, like, still works for the Mr. Beast enterprise, but I don't know.
Month and a half trying to just watch relationships, like, fall through my fingers. You know, I lost someone that, like, was pretty close to me as well. You know, it just wasn't a good scene. So financially and mentally, it really messed me up.
Do you feel in any way, like, tricked, deceived, or used?
I mean, yeah. To say that I felt tricked or used is an understatement. Like, they knowingly came and did this. You know, I had like 3 or 4 contacts call me the night that it dropped, and I was watching the whole video trying to figure out like what they were talking about. And when it got to that recording, my stomach just like sank.
All because of a call that they unconsensually recorded, which you clarified was basically rumors and gossip.
Yeah. I didn't want to be involved with, didn't even know what was going on, that, you know, I was just thrown into unconsensually. And yeah, you said it, man. It threw a pretty big wall up in the progress of my life, and I didn't feel like that was needed, and pretty upset.
But then what about Jake the Viking's tweet about Jimmy's mom literally allowing her then barely of age son to knowingly be in contact with and hire?
Delaware sat down with Jimmy and Sue, Jimmy's mom, and explained to them everything. So yes, Jimmy knew. But again, this incident happened in 2010. Delaware was hired 2017/18. Delaware was also let go from the company before I was.
First of all, have you thought about just how fucking absurd that sounds? And second...
Okay, so this is the comment from one of the Mr. Beast employees. It says, I don't think that Jimmy or his mom knew when they hired him. I really don't think Sue would knowingly let Jimmy hire an RSO when he was barely 18. Vikings said they knew, but even Weddle has a problem with what he says. So I don't know how valid that is.
Jake the Viking is a shitty person and untrustworthy. Even Dogback's friends agree on that.
Viking is not a good guy, and that's just an opinion based on his actions in my eyeballs.
Wow, Dogback and Jake Weddle falsely implying Mr. Beast intentionally hired a registered sex offender and created a nickname to joke about it within the company to then try back up their baseless claims by tricking an employee and recording him without consent? That's pretty messy.
Yeah, see, this is the shit. This is the shit it was that I was talking about in the previous video is that I made about Rosanna Pansino and Dogpack 404. It's being so fucking blinded by one particular objective, which is holding Mr. Beast's feet to the fire, of which, again, for the people who seem to believe I want to suck Mr. Beast D and just, you know, gobble gobble, gawk gawk 3000, that shit. For some bizarre reason, that's what you seem to think. Mr. Beast bad. He should have his feet held to the fire. There is plausible reasons for you to think that Mr. Beast deserves to have people look at him. For one instance, Mr. Beast having to conduct his own investigation. I've said this on Twitter. I don't believe I've said this here on YouTube, so I'm going to say it again. Mr. Beast conducting his own investigation is a product of the fact that we have no real rules and regulations when it comes to how we operate as a business on YouTube, how we as individuals operate as a business. If you are mainstream media, you have the FTC, or in the UK we have Ofcom, who are the regulators of what it is that we are and aren't allowed to do. On YouTube, we have nothing. Nobody is telling us what we are and aren't allowed to do. So now we have somebody who has mainstream media money and then mainstream media viewability and visibility, if not like quadruple. He gets so many million views. He is making so much fucking bank and no regulations. The only thing the FTC or Ofcom basically want from us in the United Kingdom and in the US is for us to disclose our adverts. Beyond that, we have no rules.
Help! I was following a lead, but I'm in over my head.
Today's video is proudly sponsored by Secret Puzzle Society. Secret Puzzle Society is a unique match 3 and mystery game. Now, this is not your typical match 3 game. It's a thrilling adventure where you help Brooke uncover the secrets of a mysterious society. Each room you investigate feels like an escape room, packed with puzzles and challenges to solve. Now, warning, this game is highly addictive. I have been playing this game non-stop. I'm stuck at level 65, but we're not even gonna talk about that. Like, literally, I have not been able to put my phone down. And I can enjoy this game uninterrupted because Secret Puzzle Society is ad-free. So not only have you got immersive gameplay, fantastic graphics, and visual designs, you also have an ad-free experience. And not just that, the actual storyline itself is extremely captivating. You join Brooke as she discovers this hidden society secrets, showered with unexpected twists and surprises. And there's loads of really interesting and intriguing characters, such as Red Raven, who is an iconic, mysterious, and dubious character. His charisma is completely undeniable, even if you don't quite know whether he's on your side or not. But that's the intrigue, it kind of keeps you guessing and makes you want to see more of him. But beyond Red Raven, there is a series of different lawbreakers to uncover. So uncover the unique personalities and sinister plots of each Puzzle Society member as you explore their custom designed rooms. I have had so much fun playing Secret Puzzle Society, where the puzzles are challenging but fair. And this game is definitely one addictive game that I recommend that you try. So if you would like to get your hands on Secret Puzzle Society, please do not forget to hit the link link in the description box down below. It greatly helps my channel when you do so. Or the other option is you can scan my QR code over here. Thank you so much to Secret Puzzle Society for sponsoring today's video, and without further ado, let's get straight into it. Now, Mr. Beast having to conduct his own investigation, whether you consider it an external investigation rather than an internal investigation, because Mr. Beast had to finance it, therefore it might be plausible that the people who he financed to look through the company, who said it's a-okay, there's no real problems, a few things have had to change, might have been a vested interest because they were getting money from Mr. Beast. I can understand that, but we are in a landscape where there are no rules. So what else was Mr. Beast supposed to do? Genuinely, what else is there for Mr. Beast to do to be able to qualify that he is doing right, at least from this point forward, in terms of his business and his business conduct and his employees? What else is he supposed to do? YouTube's not going to regulate him. The FTC's not going to regulate him. Ofcom in the UK aren't going to regulate him. So he has to regulate himself. We are in a weird situation where influencers are almost, if not 100% bigger than mainstream media, with no regulations. That's why we have situations like family channels being able to exploit their children and put them front row and center, making them the entire content of their videos over and over and over again without the legal requirements for working hours and wages and pay and how that should be distributed for minors. This is the whole reason why we have Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen on Full House. The reason they were hiring twins is because if they had two of them who looked the exact same, who could play the exact role, they would be able to put one in, and when their time was up, when their 5 hours of the day was up, the other one could go in and they could do their 5 hours of the day. We have no regulations, so some of these kids who are creating not just family content on YouTube, but kids content on YouTube Kids are on the clock 100% of the time by their terrible, terrible parents, and there is no regulation. This is why we now have kids who were growing up in the YouTube era in family channels going forth and suing their parents for what it is that they did not consent to as children. And once again, why are we having this issue? Because there is no regulation. So again, I ask you guys, what on earth, besides what Mr. Beast has already done by having an external company come and investigate his company and put some more rules in place, what else is he supposed to do? I'm not sitting here and expecting you to feel sorry for Mr. Beast, but I feel like in this situation, these influencers are in between a rock and a hard place. And this doesn't just go for him, this goes for every large influencer, between a rock and a hard place. Because there is no regulation there, and because there is no rules to enforce, nobody can do anything. And I bet you 100%, as God is my fucking witness, after all of us watched Dogpat 404's video, Rosanna Pansino's video, Jake Weddle's videos, and all of that kind of stuff, not a single one of us picked up the phone and called the FCC about regulating this internet issue that's taking place. So if we want change, then we need to push for it, is what I'm saying. But anyway, I digress. Let's get into the next one.
Stop, Soggy. That'd be as shameless as falsely accusing someone of committing war crimes against the Geneva Convention in a consented to solitary confinement challenge where you'd—
Oh my god. Lauren just says the video essays in 10 years from these kids after going to therapy is going to be shocking. The videos we're going to get from these kids when it's time, we're going to hear some things, girl. We're gonna hear something.
Earn $10,000 a day and can quit whenever you want and still keep the accumulated prize money up until that point. During a time where we have multiple countries actively at war in the world with millions of people suffering because of it. Oh wait.
And I go up to my friend, my good friend. He goes, "What? That's a war crime. We're not allowed to do that to terrorists." Oh good, 24 hours breaking the Geneva Convention, I guess, is what we're doing.
But let's ask Dustin about that, because ironically enough, Dustin is the good friend of Jake Weddle who made those war crime comments. And I can prove it with Jake Weddle's own words.
One of my dear friends who I believe I lost is the same guy who did the war crime joke, which turned out to not be a joke. He got injured at Mr. Beast, and that's because of Viking. On that shoot, everybody else had to stay behind and clean up. And Viking said, fuck that, let's just throw all of this over the side of the mountain, like littering in a national park. And my good dear friend, who I kept saying was one of the good people over there, said, you're not going to do that. I'm not going to let you do that. And Viking said, watch me. And he did it. But my friend gathered up all the stuff he could to make sure there was just that much less litter. And that's a really good thing to do. He carried everything he could down the mountain, and he broke his ankle. They said, "Yeah, you were carrying too much stuff, right?" Yes, he was. Because that guy's a saint.
And blame me for our friend Dustin. I'll use names, unlike you. Our friend Dustin falling and breaking his leg. Or not his leg, yeah, his ankle. I'm sorry, falling and breaking his ankle.
Now, why would someone who Jake Weddle himself, who is clearly against MrBeast, describes as one of the best people he has ever known, who literally broke his ankle trying to prevent littering, and in Jake's own words, is a saint?
Because that guy's a saint.
Go rogue to try and correct defamatory statements made against Jimmy if Jimmy committed war crimes. The war crime stuff was 100% a joke. I'm now a producer, but I was originally hired as comedy writer with Jake Weddle, so I just wanted to cheer him up with a dumb and edgy joke. Oh, so it was a joke. Dustin actually did say the war crime stuff as a joke. Okay.
Yeah, but some jokes are based in truth. I would consider denial of human contact and all of that kind of stuff to be somewhat inhumane. I feel like that's fair to say. So even if it's a joke, things made in jest might be true. But again, we might have a situation like with the Delaware one where I'm led down a road where I'm not agreeing, and then I might agree, so I'm going to shut up. Honestly, Netflix and Amazon are going to need better regulating if we are comparing it to broadcast. Oh, 100%. 100%, they all do. I mean, even the people from the Squid Games, the Squid Games, the competition version, not the actual, the TV show, the Korean drama. The people who took part in the Squid Games competition, there are so many different individuals who have come together to do a class action lawsuit against Netflix and the producers of the Squid Games because of how they were treated. The same thing happened with their Squid Games that happened with Mr. Beast's Squid Games, just terribly, terribly managed. Because they aren't a massive TV fucking production like the Korean drama. It's not the same thing. So yeah, they are going to need regulating. I think there needs to be a lot of regulating across the board. I think that what's happening is the landscape of how it is that we view entertainment is changing so swiftly now that like the FTC and all of these regulators, they literally don't know how to keep up because they don't know how to regulate us. And especially if you're on a platform specifically like YouTube as like an internet influencer or whatever, like how do you differentiate content creators like me sitting here now, we got 260 odd people here. So like content creators like me who really aren't, the big G's of this space versus people like, say, KSI, Logan, Mr. Beast, Jake Paul, and all of those like top end people who are really doing broadcast level shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, there needs to be regulation across the board. How that happens, who needs to enforce it, when that happens, I think we'll probably have a huge like controversy that will take place that will force regulation. It's always the way that it goes. They leave it until the last very minute. That's how Adpocalypse starts.
That makes sense, because in a follow-up video of Jake Weddle's and Dogback's interview, Jake Weddle seems to slip up, saying it was a joke.
He's the same guy who did the war crime joke.
Before quickly correcting himself.
Which turned out to not be a joke.
And his videos are pretty unedited, so he might have just accidentally let it slip through the cracks. And just to be clear, I'll show the clip of Dogback's 13 million viewed video again, in which Jake and Dogback clearly insinuated it wasn't a joke.
And I go up to my friend, my good friend. I go, "They're not turning the lights off." He goes, "What? That's a war crime. We're not allowed to do that to terrorists." Oh, good. 24 hours breaking the Geneva Convention, I guess, is what we're doing.
I think in this point here, the point is being completely missed. Like, whether the joke was said in jest or not, sometimes jest takes from reality. The reason that was funny was because it was a dark, edgy joke. The dark, edgy joke was the fact that it was based in reality. Do you get what I mean? It's like if somebody went, "Paige, you big fat big back bitch." It's like, I'd laugh, but also I am a big fat big black bitch. You know what I mean? So like, I'm laughing because it kind of hurts, but also you kind of read me. Like, I'm kind of feeling that. You know what I mean? So like, that's the art of reading. You know, the commentary bro community call it being based and saying edgy jokes, but us, the girlies, we call it reading. So that's what happened. He got read, and it was funny, but it was also based in reality, and that's why it was so funny, in my opinion.
Say that like Mr. Beast took away your agency, and in a sense, kind of like forced you into doing this. But
I agree. That is very serious. That's why I alleged it.
That's why I alleged it.
And viewers clearly didn't think it was a joke either. But just as I will rip into Jimmy later in this video, I'll also investigate Jake Weddle's story in more detail later in this video. Because in between him falsely accusing Jimmy of intentionally hiring an RSO and comparing himself consensually agreeing to doing a challenge for $10,000 a day, being allowed to leave whenever he wants, to rape victims and victims of war crimes, even though he knew that was a joke.
The same guy who did the war crime joke.
As well as spreading fake AI-generated incriminating voice recordings of Mr. Beast.
What are our options? Is this legally considered defamation? Because I was not struggling here. Can someone please tell me what my options are here? Because
Now, I will say though, the war crime, it was a joke. It's not plausible enough for me. Listen, I may not like these people, and, you know, y'all may say I might hold some kind of biases and whatever it is that you think is fair, whatever, I don't really care. But I will call a spade a spade. This, for me, is not holding up. Whether it was a joke or whether it was said in jest, it's not holding up right now. This section only has a couple of seconds left, so I really don't think he's going to be able to make that better for me. But this one, strike one of things that I'm not really feeling, generally.
Jake knows what he wants. Jake knows what he thinks he needs. He's supposed to be like students. The other comedian is the phone that free. He has no idea how much fucking money I spent on that video just to subscribe it. Jake, I don't think Jake's the problem. I think it's Dawson. I mean, you're really pushing.
That's right. I got that sent to me, and you know what? That was AI.
Maybe say that before playing the recording, because you worked at Mr. Beast, and you know how people will just watch the recording and then click off of the video without ever hearing your disclaimer that it was AI generated. Oh, but then you wouldn't get as much money from views because this AI generated disinformation video is the one that got your channel monetized.
That's my brand, is being honest and crying a lot.
And then after making those slanderous claims, accept another $50,000 from Jimmy with no strings attached, there's a lot more to be said about him.
That's my brand, is being honest and crying a lot.
And about how Dogpack manipulated him. But let's first continue with all of the lies and manipulation of Dogpack 404.
Okay, the truth doesn't mind being questioned. A lie doesn't like to be challenged. Ooh, I like that. I like that.
Now, for the visual learners watching, you'll see that I have behind me a wall. And this wall features most of
We love a visual moment. I love this. I need to... Okay. The editor page is coming in. I need to implement this in a video. I love this so much. Like, when you want to get through your fucking points, and you just have them, like, visual. Oh... Tens.
Dogpack 404's accusations, and I say most because at this point there are just so many that I might have forgotten a few, and every time I disprove one of his accusations, it'll be crossed through with red marker. Every time I prove one to be uncertain, I'll add a blue question mark to it, and every time an accusation Dogpack made is true, I'll add a green.
Okay, so the Jake Weddle one, he's got question marks, so he's not saying 100% that he's disproved. Okay, I'm vibing. I see where we're going with this. Okay, I like that.
Green check mark to it. And I know that you, and I, and everyone else wants to know about the illegal lotteries. Did Mr. Beast really commit 3 malicious and predatory illegal lotteries as get-rich-quick scheme? Well, I will talk about them throughout my video in between all of the other accusations, starting right now with the alleged illegal lottery number 3 claim of Dogpack 404. Or should I say doctoring up evidence to make more convincing claims you knew to be untrue, Pack 404. Yeah, Dawson, I'm the first one who noticed. See, for the third illegal lottery, by sure to be in a video live stream, Dogpack claims they only informed people on the website that no purchase was necessary. But did you read the description? You know, the description which I got via the Wayback Machine?
Oh, so he went to the Wayback Machine, so this is concrete evidence at this point. What's the dates on this? This is the 15th of October 2021, and it says this started streaming 40 minutes ago, so this is whilst the live was still going on that the screen capture was taken, in which it does say that. So there we go, concrete evidence.
Where it literally says free entry available on site. Oh, but wait, you never actually found the description of that video, did you? You just made it look that way by doctoring up this fake YouTube UI. So you'd be more convincing and it'd look as if you had access to the original video and description.
Oh, so basically he'd used like a YouTube UI. So you can get like plugins and stuff. This is editing page speaking. You can get like plugins and stuff that can like make the video look as if it's playing on a YouTube page for the audience. And what he's done is he's wrote out the description and all that, and well, wrote out the title and the thumbnail and all that kind of stuff, inputted the video so it looked like it was a genuine screen grab when it actually wasn't. Because had he have actually screen grabbed it, he would have seen the description. I think this is where we're heading with this point.
So people would more easily believe you. But I want you, the viewer, to closely compare these two layouts. This one is the UI when he talks about the buy a shirt to be in my video live stream. And this one is the actual current YouTube UI you see whenever Dogpack shows a screen recording of public videos you can still watch. And when putting the two side by side, you can see that the UI for the illegal live stream is not the real YouTube UI. Instead of rounded corners, they're sharp, the likes are gone, the upload date is in a completely wrong spot where it has never been, and the button sizes and title font just seem off. And no, it's not because he found an older YouTube UI via the Wayback Machine like I did, because they don't hide likes and YouTube has never had this exact UI. Sure, it had sharp corners once, but not in combination with these exact other UI elements. But you wanna know the funniest part? Even the re-uploaded version that Dogpack found and then added a manipulative fake YouTube UI to actually had copied the original live stream's description. So even in the re-upload he found, it says that there's a free entry option. Yet he still doctored up this fake UI to make his intentional lies more convincing. Nah, I'm just...
But then what I would say is when it comes to the quote-unquote illegal lotteries, I wouldn't necessarily call them illegal lotteries. I feel like that would be incorrect at this point. But what I would say is it is intentionally misleading, especially to live viewers, because most live viewers aren't going to be checking the description. I've seen this plenty of times on my own YouTube channel. If there is a live stream or if there's a premiere video, people don't read the description of them whilst it is live because people are engaging in real time with the chat. They're more focused on the chat. So I will say it is misleading, but the illegal lottery is factually, even if it is unethical, factually incorrect, which is, again, where we need to cross our T's, dot our I's, and make sure that we are 100% on these kind of things, because when you disprove, you know, you're saying, then it leads people to believe that the rest of everything else is baseless too. And that's the problem that I had. And I cannot stress this enough. The problem it is that I had was that the lies or quote-unquote misinformation, whether intentional or not, is what harms the overarching thing, which is there are victims who are saying that they were denied medical attention. There are victims who are saying that they were denied their sanitary products, which I believe is a human right. There are victims who are saying that they were denied their insulin. Like, we are talking, there are numerous different things. Women without their underwear for some fucking bizarre reason. These are the allegations. So when we have more credible allegations that genuinely deserve focus that we should be looking at, when we fill a whole situation with baseless claims, allegations, and things that aren't based in fact, it makes people look at those and go, well, all of this over here must be bullshit too. When it's not. It is the same thing that happened with the James Charles situation. So many fake allegations convoluted with the real allegations made people not focus on the fact that James Charles has a patented history of speaking to underage minors. Now, none of them will be viewed as serious because there was at least 3 of them that Def Noodles promoted incorrectly. This is the problem. And it's not that I want Mr. Beast to win. I could give a fuck about what Mr. Beast is a millionaire, girl. And here I am in my 3-bedroom house and Mr. Beast is a millionaire. You really think, and I ain't getting shit, you really think I'm gonna be Captain Save-A-Ho for a millionaire? No. I ain't no Captain Save-A-Ho for a millionaire. But what I'm saying is we need to be fucking correct. And if you don't know, say that you don't know. And if you're wrong, if you really thought you were correct, because shit, that happens. If you really thought you were correct, when you're wrong, just sweep up. Say, I got that part wrong. Sorry, guys, just letting you know. But when you're not doing that, that allows the viewer to make their assumption. And that's bad for the people who genuinely really need eyes on the situation, on the story. And this is the problem that I have. Misreporting can ruin an extremely credible case. Period. Point blank period. And it doesn't matter who's saying the misinformation. You can all catch the strays.
Kidding. Funniest part is that Mr. Beast verbally says it on stream.
Go shopmrbeast.com, buy the shirt or hoodie. You could be one of the people that come down and compete in the video. There's also a free entry on the site as well. If you just 100 of which.
Oh, so he said it vocally as well. Yeah, not even misleading now. Because if he's saying it vocally and it's in the description, that is as per the FTC guidelines. If I'm giving you guys an advert, like I probably will when I upload this video, but like when I give you guys an advert, it will start off like, this video is proudly sponsored by, because I need to give a vocal acknowledgement, then I need to also acknowledge it in the description as well. Those are the rules of the FTC, as well as making sure that little banner at the top that says it has paid promotion is there and it is clicked and activated on the video. Those are the rules per the FTC. Those are the rules per the UK guidelines as well. So if he's done that and he's made the disclaimers vocally, visually, and all of that other stuff, girl, I don't know what else to tell you. Matt just goes, a multi-millionaire. Yes, girl, a multi-millionaire. And I'm saving him from who? He's got lawyers. Okay, you don't need Paige Christie.
Are going to be picked from, you know, people that buy this shirt or hoodie, or if you enter for free on the site as well, it's, that's an option as well. So,
oh my god, you're so sneaky. Now, when someone is prepared to doctor up evidence to make potentially incriminating lies more convincing, it automatically puts every single one of their accusations that isn't bulletproof into question. So throughout this video, you'll also see that there are multiple examples of him leaving out crucial details from evidence that would easily disprove the accusations he's making. Because Dawson loves framing things deceitfully to push his personal agenda.
Shopify dashboard, we just have like a random number generator, and then like we just put the number, like if there's 1,000 orders, we just put it, picks a number between 1 and 1,000, and then my people give me the name.
Wait a second. Mr. Beast is only picking out of the Shopify list? Well, does that mean he's only giving away 2 paid entries after all? No. You can be part of a Shopify giveaway without having to make any purchase whatsoever. These are some generic examples of how to enter Shopify giveaways for free on the official Shopify website. Mr. Beast scamming someone out of a lifetime of dog food and then tried silencing the so-called victim on Reddit?
As far as fake giveaways go, I'm sort of limited in what I can say without exposing confidential information and getting sued. So my official statement is that sometimes things slip through the cracks, and personally, I believe that is intentional. Here's one example where someone on Reddit posted saying that they were promised free dog food for life in exchange for letting Mr. Beast use them in a video. 5 months later, they still haven't received their dog food. I actually sent this post to someone who works at Mr. Beast, and they said they were going to send it to the PR team, and then the Reddit post got taken down. So I don't know if it got resolved.
Not true. Here is a message from the Reddit user stating Mr. Beast did reach out to them, as well as everyone else. Apparently this user just hadn't noticed at first because the Mr. Beast company's email went to the user's spam folder. The issue—
oh shit. Okay, so things that you could have went back and qualified for yourself. Here's the other thing, right? Because this is what's pissing me off. As content creators, as commentators, we are held to such a high standard. Like, the amount of grief I get for not putting my resources in every fucking video is kind of crazy. Even though we have a docket full of information, I can post it at any time, but I'm just now being stubborn. But because, like, I don't post my resources in every fucking video, it's like, you're wrong, you're a terrible person, da, da, da. And I'm like, you can find this information for yourself. It's not like I'm hiding. You can literally find the articles that I'm speaking about. You can find the, you know, Twitter messages, the Reddit posts that I'm referencing. You can find all of these yourself. There's nothing to hide, right? But here's the thing, right, is that when somebody is allowed to have so many things go wrong, and it's like, yeah, but it's okay because the cause is great. And the cause is great. Mr. Beast definitely deserves to have his feet held to the fire, but why are they held to such a ridiculously low standard in comparison to everybody else? If you're walking into the commentary game and you're trying to do social and internet commentary the way the rest of us are, then why are you held to a completely different standard to the rest of us? Because had I have got that many things wrong in a video, had Adam McIntyre had got that many things wrong in a video, Dustin Daly, any of the social media people had got that many things wrong in a video, you would have dragged us. And rightly fucking so, but you would have dragged us. So then I'm just sitting here like, why are they allowed to get so many things wrong? and not do any work or care or diligence to clean up their mess after they've made things wrong, but we do. Shit pisses me off. I'm just going to be honest. It kind of makes me feel like, this is from Daisy, it says, it kind of makes me feel like Dogpack at least knew he wasn't being completely truthful about some of this, because why would he just not admit his mistakes? I think, honestly, when you, this is what I'm thinking, and I'm actually willing to give Dogpack a little bit of grace. Sometimes when you have such a strong bias and you dislike somebody so much, everything about that person don't sit right in your soul. You know what I mean? It's like, if I don't like somebody, like, I'm gonna be real. I'm a human being. I'm looking for you to say shit. Do you get what I mean? It's like that coworker that you don't like at work who's like, you know, they're really nice to everybody and all this kind of stuff, and you're sitting there and you're just like, I know she's a fake ass bitch. So when they talk to you, they're like, hi, and you're like, hi, how are you? You're like, hi. You know what I mean? You don't mean to, but you don't like that bitch. So everything they say just fucking pisses you off. And I think that this is what's happening with Dogpack. Dogpack don't like Mr. Beast, so everything Mr. Beast does or say, he is looking for something just to say fuck you, which is a human thing. But these human reactions that we have where we, you know, fall short, we have to be able to at least acknowledge them in the same way that I can acknowledge some of the places that I've faltered too. Again, like I said in my first video to do with Rosanna Pansino and Dogpack 404 and the allegations it is that they made about Mr. Beast, that which I believe to be factually incorrect. In that first video, I even explained about a situation where I thought that I was right. Bitch, I was wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong. So then I had to come forward to you guys to my platform and say I was wrong and do the sweeping, sweep up behind myself, say, you know what? I really thought, here's the reason that I thought this, but I was wrong, girl. And if I'm wrong, shit, I'm wrong. Sometimes you have to do that. And that's ethical. That's just being an ethical individual. That's just being valuing truth over what it is that you want. And I value truth. I don't care if it's an uncomfortable truth. I don't care if it's a truth that's inconvenient. The inconvenience of this situation is Mr. Beast isn't as bad as they had made him to be. And that's the inconvenient truth. That's the one that I don't like, because I don't like Mr. Beast and I don't want him to win. But that's the inconvenient truth. But do I believe that somebody or anybody in any situation should have false allegations levied against them in a somewhat intentional, slanderous and libel manner because I don't like them? No. No, I'm able to see the nuance and say that's not cute. In the same way that the section it is that he did before just wasn't enough evidence for me. I'll call a fucking spade a spade. I'll call it what it is. I'm not going to pretend.
You got resolved, and then the Reddit post got deleted.
Sometimes things slip through the cracks, and personally, I believe that is intentional.
Oh, the new Feastables formula has more sugar and calories than Hershey's?
Mr. Beast changed the formula again to where it has mostly the same ingredients as Hershey's, and even more sugar and more calories per bar.
Well, that'd be pretty messed up after Mr. Beast actively advertised his chocolate to be healthier than Hershey's. Luckily, it's just another lie. Dogpack is being deceitful here, because he's comparing a single serving sized 43 grams Hershey's bar to a 2 serving sized 60 grams Feastables bar, instead of comparing it to a 1 serving sized 35 grams Feastables bar. While if you recalculate the ingredients of both to 43 grams, then you'll see that Feastables still has less sugar than Hershey's and actually has less calories than the previous formula.
This pit is fake.
No, it's not. Here's footage of them digging the pit. You know what? Here's a crew member's footage of the 2 non-CGI buses and non-CGI train being...
Oh girl, this is bad. Whoa. Bitch, not him saying the pit is fake and it's real. What do you mean? That's so bad. That is so bad. That's so negligent. Okay, you know, I was sitting there thinking, you know, very much the look at that bitch eating a salad moment. No, this is intentional. I thought it was just internal biases just taking strong hold of the person's character. That's what I genuinely believe. Like, you know, I was giving grace, but no, that shit is intentional. You're telling me the big gaping hole that is in the floor is not there, and it was a mess. And here's the thing, I'm gonna be honest, just like the rest of us, did we go and research whether the hole was real or not? No. So we went based on the knowledge that what he was telling us was somewhat sincere. So we believed this to be an action of fact when it wasn't. And that's a problem. That is a problem. People shouldn't be able to poke this many holes in what it is that you're saying.
In the pits after they drove them in there.
Shredder is CGI.
Nope, at this timestamp they do shred an actual Lamborghini in a legitimate shredder. But I will say that when they use CGI, it looks fucking terrible, as if it came straight out of a CW show.
This car is digitally lifted.
This car isn't digitally lifted, however they did change the original red coloring to blue to make a visual distinction between the first rocket car they launched and failed, which was red, and the second one they launched, which succeeded but was also red. Because they were scared that both cars being red might confuse the audience, so in post they just changed the second one's color to blue, but there was no digital lift.
This is sad. This is a sad way to go out, bro.
What you're saying, the things that you're saying are truly in good faith, and that you're not a disgruntled employee.
You can watch my video and like view it through the lens of, oh, this guy's just a disgruntled employee. But the evidence still speaks for itself.
Of course.
But the evidence still speaks for itself.
Of course.
This accusation of Dogbag404 actually upset this engineering YouTuber who passionately worked on that rocket car for months to get it working, just to have this goober claim that it's faked. But Dawson doesn't.
Yo, so there's a guy who actually fucking made this shit happen, who worked really hard on putting those fucking rocket launchers on the back of that fucking car. He's probably sitting there like, I'm really proud of this Mr. Beast video I did. Look at that shit flying here. That guy goes, that's fake. It's not real. It's like, bitch, I worked for 10 months. Like, oh my god, that's crazy.
Care about collateral damage done to others. He doesn't mind throwing people in front of non-CGI buses to push his own agenda. He did it with the rocket car YouTuber. He did it with that tricked employee's phone recording they showed without his consent. He tried doing it with me by calling me over dramatic, pressuring me into making a video accusing Mr. Beast with uncertain and refutable evidence, which by now I know to be untrue, which he doubled down on, by the way. Every other commentary YouTuber did it without getting sued. Even though just because a lot of YouTubers tried milking the situation and through
a lot of YouTubers, and it's just more Pegasus. Just because a lot of other YouTubers, it's more Pegasus, and he's posting multiple videos. More Pegasus, as far as I'm concerned. Like, if you enjoy them, good for you. Slot content. Just people who just pump out shit for the sake of pumping out shit. Like, there is never any feasible reason to make this many videos on one person, I'm just saying.
Substantiated, easily disprovable accusations out there for clout, views, and money without getting sued doesn't make it an okay thing to do, Dogbag. Or do you think it's acceptable to make false CP allegations? Which, maybe I should talk about that for a second. See, in a recent video on Rosanna Pansino's channel, Dogbag404 claimed to have access to leaked work chat messages, with one of them being Ava Christison distributing alleged CP of Ivanka Trump. Except Dogbag doesn't always use the term alleged.
Yeah, this is the most disgusting one by far. Well, actually, the CP was probably more disgusting.
And he also proudly admitted to having downloaded that uncensored alleged CP on a now deleted community post, and admits to having reverse image searched what he thought was CP in the video. Obviously, Dawson French himself was called out.
And like, this is the crazy thing, is that when I pointed that out in the video, like, everybody was like, but you reposted the blurred image, therefore you are doing the exact same thing. No, simple bitch. Let me simmer down. No, girl, that's not what I was doing. That's not what I was doing. I went into this knowing that Ivanka Trump was 18. I know this now. So when I posted the video, I knew that the woman that I was posting blurred, by the way, was an 18-year-old woman. That was not a child. I am not redistributing CP. Are you guys can you not follow a story? Jesus Christ. That's to the stupid people, not you guys. You guys are great. I like you guys. You can stay.
For owning and reverse image searching what he believed was fucking CP, because that is weird and a crime.
Of CP are not protected under First Amendment rights and are illegal contraband under federal law. Legal definition of sexually explicit conduct does not require.
So he knows this. He's reading out the definition, yet he admitted to having this CP, reverse image searching this CP in a now deleted post, and then redistributing said CP with just red bars across the tummy. So then we also have that he has altered, edited a version of what he believed to be CP. And then they posted it onto YouTube. And I'm wrong for saying that was fucking wild. Wild to have done with that being your original thought process. wild to have done that thinking that it was CP. Genuinely, thank the good gods and Sky Daddy of this universe that it wasn't. Because what you would have done would have been fucking illegal and punishable in a court of law. Period. Period. There's no way. You're lucky it isn't. Genuinely lucky that it wasn't. Because had you have been right, you would have been so fucked.
That an image depict a child engaging in a sexual activity, a picture of a naked child may constitute illegal CP.
So he deleted that community post to then lie about never having had the uncensored CP on someone else's YouTube video. Funny thing is that it only took 1 hour for people to find this tweet about that exact picture of 18-year-old Ivanka Trump being in a GQ magazine. It legitimately took 1 hour. 1 hour to not falsely accuse someone of distributing CP.
It's like he constantly lies to get himself out of trouble, and only when he's run out of lies and in face of a serious trouble and he's run out of options does he reveal the truth. Then he tries to pull the LOL I said allegedly thing again. I said as Ava alleges, I said in my opinion, I said may, I said if.
Yeah, this is the most disgusting one by far. Well, actually, the CP was probably more disgusting. But
so either Dogback knew that it wasn't CP and made those false accusations anyways, or he's just a fucking idiot who can't even use Google. But that wasn't the only lie in that video, was it, Dawson?
This isn't a work chat. This is just a small snapshot of a company chat, but it's, I think, one of many. I've heard that there's other company chats that they communicate on.
Yes.
And
it wasn't a work chat. It was created as an NSFW meme chat by already known degenerate Ava Chris Tyson. There's even examples of Ava getting mad whenever anyone talks about anything work related.
This is just a small snapshot of a company chat. Small snapshot of a company chat.
What you're saying, the things that you're saying are truly in good faith, and that you're not a disgruntled employee.
You can watch my video and like view it through the lens of, oh, this guy's just a disgruntled employee, but the evidence still speaks for itself.
Of course. However, at one point it was changed to a work chat by Ava, at which point she also kicked everyone unrelated out of there. But then the chat instantly died because obviously no one else, including Jimmy, wanted to use it as a work chat. Now, I will say that even though this image is confirmed not to be CP, Ava did seem to think it was at the time, and so this proves that she is even worse than we thought and is a disgusting individual. However, the way—
Which, to be fair, if Ava Chris Tyson genuinely thought that what she was posting into that group chat was CP, she's fucked. She's fucked. But we can't sit down and then fucking negate the fact that Rosanna Pansino and Dogpat was sat there going, ooh, oh my god, oh, I'm so gagged, looking at what they believe to be C-fucking-P, whether it has red bars on it or not, and then redistributing it to the audience. And can I just say, since how many different people have made videos saying that this is kind of fucking wild that you did this, not only did she go ahead and fucking change her thumbnails like several different times in order to obscure the alleged CP as they depict was, you know, not in the thumbnail so prominently in the way that they originally posted it, but she has not gone forward. And this is Rosanna Pansino because it was posted to her channel. She has not come forward and clarified any of the new findings at all in the video description, in the comment section, in nothing. So if you are a viewer of this and wanted to find out more and thinking, wow, this is kind of crazy, there would be nothing to be able to qualify, not even a minimal amount, which would, for me, the real thing would have been to remove that whole section from the video. It didn't need to be there. That's what I would have done. Or possibly take the video down, re-upload it the correct way with those parts of the video taken out. That's what I would have done. But at the very fucking minimum, you should be in the comment section saying, hey girl, what I said about the CP is factually incorrect. Just wanted to put that out there. Don't want to make everything else it is that we discuss sound stupid, because we have real things it is that we want to talk about here, and the rest of it, I ain't got nothing to say. I ain't got shit to say on anything else. So I just don't understand why you don't do that. That would be the minimum amount that I would expect from somebody who isn't, you know, fully immersed within commentary, making commentary videos. That's the minimum I would expect from you. The rest of us, we'd have to take that fucking video down and we'd have to re-upload it correctly, or take the video down and call it a day and say, you know what, I got it wrong. It's probably not even worth it anymore. This is why I say it is This is why, when it comes to Rosanna Pansino and Dogpack 404, it is the right message, but it is the wrong messenger.
The way Dogpack tried distributing what he believes was a picture of a sexually abused child to thousands of possibly child viewers wasn't to inform people of degenerate Eva Christison, but instead was to push his own agenda, framing Mr. Beast into allegedly knowing that Ava was a confirmed pedophile. It's so disgusting. See, I say framing because if you look at all of the messages around that image, it's a huge rant from not just Ava but other people as well about pedophiles exposed by the hacker group Anonymous in this Twitter thread she linked with that picture of Ivanka Trump, because it was in that Twitter thread, as well as a rant about Jeffrey Epstein and billionaire pedos. And I don't think context matters here on Ava Tyson's side. I still think this is fucking disgusting. However, I do think context matters for the people perceiving Ava Christison's messages. I'm sorry, but if I'd see my friend actively ranting about pedophiles and bashing them, I'd actively be convinced to not think they're a pedophile when they send degenerate memes like this. I just cringe on the inside while thinking that they have a degenerate sense of Zoomer humor. Even Trey Yates, the person who leaked the work chat to Dogpack and Rosanna, refers to those memes as a weird thing Ava found funny in the past, instead of confirmed pedophile messages.
A lot of the edgy type of content and a lot of the
Yeah, it's still fucking gross. I'm not gonna stand by that. Sorry. You can try and like make it not seem as bad, or like these are just edgy jokes. Maybe call me a prude. Okay, call me a prude. Maybe I'm just a fucking stuck in the mud, but it's not enough for me, bro. I'm sorry. It's not enough. I don't find those jokes funny. If I was in a group chat and people were making those kind of jokes, I'd be promptly leaving. I'm just gonna say that.
You know, edgy cringe-lord humor started with Ava. Like she sent a bunch of messages that probably shouldn't have been sent in a work group chat just because she thought it was funny at the time.
So even he, who actively dislikes Mr. Beast, didn't even notice.
So with all this evidence, I think it's definitely fair to say that Jimmy knew about Ava Tyson's behavior.
But Soggy, Rosanna Pansino and Dogpack 404 reported Jimmy Beast to the FBI, so he's gotta be a pedophile.
Yeah, wasting their time, because why would you do that? It wasn't even CP. It took people an hour to figure that out. So why would you do that? That's embarrassing. Are you not embarrassed? This is very embarrassing.
I think people vastly underestimate just how easy you can report someone to the FBI. Even as a non-American citizen myself, I just created this entire forum of Rosanna Pansino and Dawson French, aka Dogpack 404, distributing CP in 2 minutes on tips.fbi.gov, which I will now submit to the FBI.
Soggy.
Why would you waste their time like that? Because it's clearly not CP. You're just as bad.
Serial reported Rosanna Pansino and Dawson French to the FBI? Holy shit, they've gotta be guilty now.
See what I did there? Also, I didn't submit this because unlike 2 other creators, I'd rather not waste the FBI's time and manipulating Rosanna Pansino so you could use her bigger channel to spread this disinformation is so vile. Look, I knew you were petty, Dawson, but I never expected you to stoop this low. He also tried dragging the famous anime Higehiro and its fandom through the mud by saying it's about a 26-year-old having a romantic relationship.
Okay, so when I was doing my research, I didn't put this in my video, I did have a look at the anime situation. It's very split and divided in opinion in terms of the people who view anime and enjoy anime about how they feel about this particular anime. One group of people speak about how it is a real life window into what it's like when you have a child who is the victim of SB within their familial home, how homelessness can be prevalent, and how, you know, sometimes when somebody has been the victim of SA and, you know, things of that nature and CA, they can be a little bit more overtly sexual or sexualize themselves as a means of getting things or being able to acquire certain things because they've learned from an early age that sexualizing themselves allows them, you know, peace. You know what I mean? It's like the perpetrator would come to them and, you know, try whatever shenanigans it is that they wanted to try. And as a form of keeping the peace in their own life, they were promiscuous. They did things that, you know, is inappropriate. And sometimes these kids can do that with other people because they haven't learned how to have a meaningful relationship or a platonic relationship with somebody who's a male figure. Basically, there are some people who are saying this is a whole window into something that is very real and that we need to see so that people can bring awareness to things like that. On the flip side, there are people who think that this glorifies a relationship between an older man and a younger woman, well, a child, and that also, housing somebody who is homeless in Japan is illegal. So it's very, very split, hence why I didn't even want to touch something like that, especially as I'm not an anime watcher myself. But it was very, very split. What I will say, it was evenly split as far as I could see on social media for those who supported this particular anime versus those who didn't. Now, I'll leave that for you to decide, but that's what I found through my own personal research on this particular element.
With the minor.
Let's see if Jimmy knew about Ava's concerning behavior. June of 2021, he sends a message of an anime called Higihiro. It says, I bet Chris would love this show. Why?
What's this show about?
Well, it's interesting that you ask because this show is about a romantic relationship between a 26-year-old salaryman and a 17-year-old high school runaway.
Oh, Jimmy in the...
I will also say that what I noticed is, you know those two screenshots that DocPack showed at the bottom where he shows like two commentary videos on this particular anime? Those weren't the top ones for me. Now, I don't know if he's getting a completely different For You page than I'm getting on YouTube, or a recommended page, shall I say, than I'm getting on YouTube, but the ones I saw at the top of YouTube were the commentary videos in support of the anime rather than people who did not agree with the anime. There are a lot of people who spoke about it also without thoughts one way or the other. So for me, again, it was very even, but the two videos that he specifically took out was like the two that were, you know, most condemning.
Chats is saying, I bet Chris would love this show because it's right up her alley.
Why do you think Chris would love that show, Jimmy?
And Mr. Beast saying Ava would love this? Even though the anime is about the exact opposite.
He posted that one thing about the anime with the, like, a doll getting into a relationship with a...
That's, okay, here's the thing. That's a lie. That is such a bullshit lie. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. He
literally said...
No. He literally said, I think Chris would like this. Why would he say that, though?
No,
the context of that anime, that show is about a 26-year-old guy, okay? He takes in this runaway girl who is selling herself to prostitution. She's like 17 or whatever, 16. I don't remember. She's 17, 16. She's selling her body because she ran away from home because some other shit happened. And I remember this because my friend tried showing this to me, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? It turned out it was actually a very wholesome show about this dude kind of teaching her, like, how to get through, like, all this trauma that she had in her life. There was never any romantic intentions there. Sure, if you watch the anime in the first episode, the girl was coming on to him, but the guy rejected her and saw her as a daughter. That whole show, he had a whole nother love interest in that show this whole time. This was never about the dude getting into a sexual relationship with a 17-year-old.
You guys actively pissed off the entire anime side of Twitter with this one. So this again more so proves Jimmy didn't know.
So with all this...
Okay, I think that Jimmy definitely sent that picture with the intention, knowing that Ava Chris Tyson may have liked those kind of things. That, call me biased, I'll take it on the chin, but I think that that's what he was going for. I can't see any other plausible reason unless it's just that this person enjoys anime. I question why this very specific, clearly polarizing, as far as I saw in my research, anime. Why this particular anime? Why not Sailor Moon Girl? Shit. You know what I mean? I'm not running with, oh, you know, there's nothing to prove. It was very, from my research, it was very even support of people who said, no, this is, you know, about a young girl who sexualized themselves and learning to love themselves in a platonic relationship. And there's other people who are like, no, it glorifies it. It's the same way that you will always find people who are like fat acceptance and the other side like glorifying obesity. There are two sides of very different coins, but there is a levelness in terms of support and against. That's what I mean. It's a polarizing discussion. So Yeah, I think that Mr. Beast most definitely probably posted that because he knew what Ava Chris Tyson was somewhat into. Maybe not the levels that Ava Chris Tyson may have been willing to go, but I think he most definitely knew that, you know, there was something a little bit off about that one.
This evidence, I think it's definitely fair to say that Jimmy knew about Ava Tyson's behavior.
Dawson, maybe look at the people you're working with. It's not a good look when your friend Cam Nuggets is revealed to be watching minors spread their assholes on Discord. And you want to know the worst of all? Dogpack and Rosanna used what they thought.
I don't know who Cam Nuggets is, but what the fuck? What? That's kind of crazy. To just say that on the... Okay, so if we are logging FBI reports... That one. FBI, we've got another one. We've got another one because that is wild. Why do you say that on Why do you say that on the internet at all? In fact, why would you do that? Fuck, why would you say that? Why would you do that? That's so weird.
Thought was a CP picture as clickbait for their fucking thumbnail. They even A/B tested 3 versions of it. You know, just trying to get some more views by putting alleged CP in your quirky thumbnails. Will the allegedly abused child garner more views with the red background or the pink background? Following their logic, they are now both confirmed pedophiles and should have 100% known that of one another. I can't, dude. I can't. And this video, where they do all this, a Dogpack dares to try and invalidate my past accusations that his video IDs he came up with while working at Mr. Beast were weirding and creeping employees out.
I suggested a video for breast cancer awareness about buying 1,000 boobs. Which, like, maybe not the most professional way to phrase it, you know, it's a little clickbaity or whatever, but like the actual video is supposed to be paying for mastectomies and cosmetic surgeries for breast cancer survivors.
That's amazing. That's wonderful.
With a thumbnail and title like these? Oh wait, if this wasn't supposed to be creepy or weird, then why did you make sure to blur the title and thumbnail when showing it on screen? Don't be shy, I still got the sharp version. Oh, was it because 4 objectified headless pairs of boobs with the Mr. Beast clickbait face and the title I bought 1,000 boobs wasn't in line with your I'm not a weird creep agenda you were trying to push? Yeah, this it's about cancer awareness message seems more like you realizing your manager didn't think that joke objectifying women was funny, and you're then desperately trying to save your own skin by, you know, using cancer. Especially when you also sent in these work IDs, such as Baby Battle Royale with babies carrying assault rifle.
Wait, so these are suggestions. It is the Dogpack 404 brought to Mr. Beast. Am I following this correctly? So the reason that he brought up the 1,000 boobs was just to kind of remove himself, like one-step removal, but the reality was it was his ideas. Katie Lady says, yeah, that's fucking crazy, bro. That is actually crazy. So you're condemning him for your actions? You've got to be out of your fucking mind. Please tell me I'm wrong. Have I just read that incorrectly? Do we need to rewind? I'm going to rewind. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, playback crew. I really apologize. I need to make sure that I'm getting this correctly because that is a insane accusation.
For breast cancer awareness about buying 1,000 boobs. Which, like, maybe not the most professional way to phrase it, you know, it's a little clickbaity or whatever, but like the actual video is supposed to be paying for mastectomies and cosmetic surgeries for breast cancer survivors.
That's amazing. That's wonderful.
With a thumbnail and title like these? Oh wait, if this wasn't supposed to be creepy or weird, then why did you make sure to blur the title and thumbnail when showing it on screen?
I'm gagged. Nah, fuck that, bro. Fuck that. I was like, are we serious right now? That is wild. What do you mean? Oh, you tried to absolve yourself and it's your shit. It's your shit. And yes, that is objectifying women in their breasticles, girl. Embarrassing.
Shy, I still got the sharp version. Oh, was it because 4 objectified headless pairs of boobs with the Mr. Beast clickbait face and the title I bought 1,000 boobs wasn't in line with your I'm not a weird creep agenda you were trying to push? Yeah, this it's about cancer awareness message seems more like you realizing your manager didn't think that joke objectifying women was funny, and you're then desperately trying to save your own skin by, you know, using...
Do you know what? I didn't get that in the original video. I didn't even clock that, because that is definitely something I would have mentioned in mine. Oh my gosh. Dawson, delete buying 1,000 boobs. Nah, it's legit. Part of breast cancer awareness. It's okay to talk about boobs right now because the bitches be dying, apparently. That's fucking gross. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Cancer. Especially when you also sent in these work IDs, such as Baby Battle Royale with babies carrying assault rifles. Or Mr. Beast does every drug challenge. Were those also for Breast Cancer Awareness Month? Also, didn't you say that Mr. Beast is mainly targeted toward kids?
Encouraging like almost children's sympathy.
Oh shit, he did! So you know that Mr. Beast targets kids and a childlike audience and you thought 1,000 boobies, bitch? Oh, stop. Oh, settle down. Settle down, settle down, settle down. Settle down. That's... You're saying, he must have knew. Well, you must have knew too. You too.
For these people, I would say he's gained most of his audience since then, and his content's only gotten younger. Now, Mr. Beast intentionally manipulates these children's vulnerable minds.
What happened to that claim? Look, I expected them at the end of the video to say that it was some twisted parody. But nope, they seemed pretty proud of their slanderous content where they admitted to committing multiple alleged federal crimes. So, same time next.
Megan goes, no, it's okay, you guys. We will also exploit cancer. Like, at this point, Megan, at this point, that's crazy. Same time next week. They're like, this is the thing, there's too much glee. There's too much glee and joy in this. Like, the stuff that they're talking about makes me sick. Do you get what I mean? If all of the things it is that they're talking about is true, it makes me physically sick. I'd hate to have to go through this and have to put these together and have to put these images. Like, I'd hate it. That's why YouTube sometimes becomes like a massive, like, head F for me. Because sometimes it's like, it's sad story after sad story after sad story. Like, I want to bring you guys some happy, some kiki, some laughs, some jokes. Sometimes... because some of the stuff we have to cover is really, really, really heavy. I hate having to go through all of that. Yeah, it's like same time next week. And, oh, I want to read this one. I want to read this one. This is from the Mr. Beast group chat. Like, why are you so giddy to read the next one? Why are you so excited? If this is real, this real exploitation we're talking about. Why are you so gleeful? Imagine somebody's reading out your trauma and they're like, oh, let me read that. Let me check that trauma out. This trauma looks juicy. I want to say it first. Settle down.
This week. But his collateral damage doesn't end with allegedly abused children. He also uses old people. For example, he tried using contestant 58 from the ages 1 to 100 video.
One sec. Luciana just says, I guess that's the disgruntled employee part. He was happy to join in until he was not allowed anymore. And then it is evil. Ain't that the way? Ain't that the way?
By claiming that he didn't really wink.
In this video, this wink was added in post.
And that number 58 didn't hear number 42 getting out of the booth.
In fact, 58 was actually on the far opposite side of the room from 42, and he just didn't hear him.
And because of that, number 58, a 58-year-old man, was so confused and getting harassed online to the point he felt that he had to make a TikTok about it.
Hey guys, Mr. 58. Been a while since I've posted anything, but something...
I had no idea this took place. So he made an accusation about the Mr. Beast all ages game. He had people from age 1 to 100 to be a part of a game to win a bunch of money. And there was a situation that took place between this guy, Mr. 58, and somebody else who I think was like Mr. 42. And they were both given the opportunity to, like, you know, win some money, and they both stepped out or something like that. And Miss Dogpack 404 was basically saying that the reason that he stepped out is because he didn't hear what number 42 was saying. And number 42 at this time, I've watched this video, by the way. Number 42 at the time was saying, listen, I'm letting you all know I'm stepping out. I'm going to take this 10 grand. I'm going about my business. So I want nobody else to step out, because if you do step out, I will be stepping out with you and we will get nothing. But I'm letting you know I'm stepping out of this box right now. Right? But apparently he was saying that Mr. 58 didn't hear him because he was on the other side of the fucking auditorium. But now apparently Mr. 58 is coming forward and saying, what are you talking about, sir? Were you even there? Which was not.
Really been concerning me a little bit. I've been seeing things on the internet that have said I didn't wink in the Mr. Beast video 1 to 100. I did wink. Winked a few times, as a matter of fact. The other thing that's been said is I didn't hear 42 say he was stepping out of his cube. Yes, I heard 42 say he was stepping out of his cube. I did it on my own accord to step out with 2 seconds left on the clock. I know of nothing in that video that was staged whatsoever, and I don't know why these rumors are going over the internet that these things didn't happen. Everything that I did in that video, and nothing was edited after the fact. Everybody be good and have a great day.
This is too many things. We're not even halfway through. Let me let you know. We're going to be here for a while. There's too many things. Man, Mr. Beast is going to get away with it all. Thank you, guys. Like, at this point, and this is why it's so fucking sad, because there are genuine, credible claims that are being made about Mr. Beast and the way he runs and operates his business and the harm it is that he causes to individuals, whether intentionally or inadvertently. And now these issues aren't going to be focused on, again, because of the spread of incorrect, factually incorrect, and misinformation. It's sad because there's real people who need fucking real help right now. Real people who need this story to spread. And you got people going, Dogpat, please help me. Please, please help me. This situation happened to me. I hate the way I was treated on Mr. Beast. Nobody should ever go through this again. What happened to me was soul destroying. What happened to me was dehumanizing. He needs to be held to the fire. People need to know what it is that we went through. This is incorrect.
This is just sad. I actually got mad seeing this old sweet guy get so upset. And what was Dogpack's proof for these claims? Well, I've got to preview the 1 to 100 video once, so now you've got to believe every baseless claim I make around it. Because you're so trustworthy, Dawson. I'd rather believe the sweet old guy who literally was in the video.
Everybody be good and have a great day.
He did it with Mark Bates, a random subscriber contestant.
I subscribed to Mr. Beast and literally won $1 million. I literally was in this video right here, and all I did was subscribe. I had no relation with Mr. Beast or anything like that. And they flew me down to North Carolina. I live in Cleveland, and changed my life forever. Literally. All I did was subscribe.
Who won $1 million, and I made a video after winning that prize, which Dogpack just took a very out of context clip from.
Another example of things slipping through the cracks.
The second.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, never watched this video in full. So again, as viewers, we watch this thinking that we're getting the correct information. You know what I mean?
Thing that I probably would do different is invest. I talked to Jimmy after I won $1 million, after I finally got the remaining amount in my bank account. I was telling him, I was like, man, I don't want to fail. I don't want to be like how everybody's saying, like I'm gonna run out of money and do all this crazy stuff. I was like, man, Jimmy, please help me. And he said he was gonna help me and we was gonna invest, but yeah, that didn't happen. So.
Oh no, he didn't invest for Mark.
Oh wait, what's this clip right after? Which Dogpack conveniently didn't put in his video?
Invest, but yeah, that didn't happen. So yeah, and let me clarify, Jimmy did help me. Cause I know, like I said, I know y'all be like,
oh, he didn't help him.
He did help me financially, but like giving me money he did give me funds.
Oh, so Mr. Beast still funded Mark even after winning and spending the $1 million? Okay. Apparently they just had him on a monthly salary at the Mr. Beast company without him having to perform any.
Shut the fuck up. After that video, we put Mark on a monthly salary at the company to give him a passive income stream. It's now getting to the point that, like, that's so messed up to misrepresent something that somebody's so grateful for and then to put them forward in a video to make them look ungrateful. Don't get me wrong, Mr. Beast has got a lot of these competitions that look iffy. I've always said this. I said this in my first Rosanna Pansino video almost a year ago, that there needs to be some rules and regulations of what is, you know how like reality TV shows will have that little disclaimer that say that some scenes have been set up for dramatic effect and all of that kind of stuff. I feel like YouTube videos should have that same premise, whether it's a prank video, whether it's a Mr. Beast reality style video where, you know, he's giving funds to loads of people. They need to be able to have that little disclaimer that says some things are made for dramatic effect so that people don't think that what's happening is based in reality. I genuinely believe that needs to happen, but it isn't happening. And because of that, we now have people intentionally misrepresenting what is actually a factual thing that took place. Crazy.
And he worked there. Well, this guy's a victim. Mark Bate himself was so fucking frustrated from Dogpack using this out of context clip to push his personal agenda that he made 2 more videos speaking out against all of the DMs he was getting from Dogpack's followers.
One sec, hold on. Bait ASMR just said a really good point. Ain't a single motherfucker been held accountable. Hell, even Romeo Lacoste got away with that shit. Romeo Lacoste, Onision, EDP445, James Charles, Jeffree Star. What's that other guy's name that Jeffree Star was involved with? Not Dean, what's his name? Something, is it Doherty? Forgotten. That other guy, whatever his freaking name is. We don't remember the name of Predators, it's fine, right? Daffy Vanity, there we are. Thank you, Katie Lady, I really appreciate you. Daffy Vanity, right? All of these people, how many times have we had like literal irrefutable evidence against these people and ain't shit ever been done about it? Why? Because of misreporting. Because people say shit that's wrong and they don't clean up after themselves. And because of that, now social media has become an unreliable source. At one point in this social media space, we were the vigilantes. We were the people who were holding the people that mainstream media wouldn't hold accountable for shit. We couldn't organize a piss up in a fucking brewery.
Everywhere. You guys been saying that I'm a victim of Mr. B.
Girl, Dr. Disrespect. That's my Corpse customer service. Exactly. Dr. Disrespect was caught talking to a 13-year-old child. Shit, EDP went to go meet one and said he was going for a goddamn cupcake. And these people are running free because we're not working with law enforcement. We're working with, and when I say we, I mean the royal we. I'm talking about commentary as a whole. We're going to rush to produce content so that the world can consume, whether it's monetized or not. We're rushing to create content rather than rushing to the fucking police station, to the people who can actually fucking help these situations. Wild. You're doing all of that, and this you sat down and you looked at what you believe to be CP, reverse image searched what you believe to be CP, and then sat down with red bars on the screen and said that CP that you allegedly believed to be CP with Rosanna Pansino, and it took Rosanna Pansino to take that to the FBI. The minute you obtained that image, it should have went to the FBI. If what you believe to be true, it should have went to the FBI. It should have went to law enforcement. It should have went to anybody else but YouTube.
And that he didn't help me. You've been talking about everything. It's not my story, so I really wanted to get up here and tell you guys that Mr. Beast really did come through for me, Jimmy. I love you.
Dogpack doesn't give a shit about who or what he uses or whose life he ruins just to push his own narrative, and it's fucking disgusting. Showing out of context clips and snippets is something that Dogpack does a lot, by the way. He also did it with Mac when Mr. Beast asked him what he was gonna do with the $800,000 he won.
What are you gonna spend the $800,000 on?
I've got 3 friends of mine, childhood friends of mine. They don't have a lot of money. I'm gonna make sure they don't have to worry about money anymore. I mean, my life's changed now.
Oh wow, he's gonna give it to his 3 less fortunate friends? Well, that is so kind. Let's see what Dawson made of this.
Bathrooms.
What are you gonna spend the $800,000 on?
I mean, my life's changed now.
Yeah, I'm sure that $800,000 is really gonna change your life.
Oh, he cut that whole part out to insinuate Mac was gonna spend it on more bathrooms in his huge mansion that he didn't even have.
Mac started working full-time on the editing team at Mr. Beast. Also, he didn't just move into any old house, he moved into a $1 million mansion. His 6,000 square foot $1 million mansion comes with a movie theater and 7 bathrooms.
See, I saw the actual property listing and, well, obviously I can't show this, so you've...
Oh, shit. So he's saying that he didn't even have a mansion and that this $800,000 to a guy who was, in his depiction, this is Dogpack404, in his depiction was already extremely wealthy, was like, you know, evidence of Mr. Beast just rewarding his friends, which we have seen. This is not to dispute that Mr. Beast rewards his friends. I think he does, quite vastly. But he was basically making it to align with that. But this guy's saying that he's looked at his house listing and that's not where he lives. Wow.
You've gotta trust me on my word. But the house is on the name of another editor at Mr. Beast, which Mac was sleeping over at because he himself didn't have a house.
But Soggy, didn't you expose Mac for being a liar? Why are you now picking his side?
I don't pick sides, nor do I just blindly hate every person I criticize. What am I? A disgruntled employee acting like a toddler? Mac left Iraq after all. And by the way, I've never seen Mac try and use fake CP to push a personal agenda. Also, Dogpack, take that clip from my video out of yours. Cause now you're using my content to push your lies.
So over the next 7 days, I'm going to be giving 1,000 random people that subscribe a free Samsung Galaxy S24.
How is this legal? I don't get it. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel.
All you have to do to enter to win one of these phones is subscribe.
It's a scam. Holy shit.
The Samsung giveaway was legit. Here you can see old testimonies from random subscribers who won and got contacted by Mr. Beast. Also, PewDiePie never bashed that clip. It's just another example of Dogpac's manipulative editing. Now, even though we've only touched the tip of the
So the clip it was that PewDiePie was speaking about wasn't that specific clip. That's what he's alleging in this video. This is the not soggy pancakes, soggy crackers, I don't know. Soggy something girl. That's what he's alleging, is that like that wasn't the clip that PewDiePie was reacting to.
Lies of Dogpack Iceberg so far. I preemptively want to ask Dawson, why would you knowingly spread all of this disinformation? Now, Dogpack, something you really shouldn't say because it would make you look real dumb is either
he mentioned the fact that he is not a professional journalist or investigator, just a guy throwing allegations around for other people to properly investigate.
As you did in a desperate attempt to save the little credibility you had left after falsely accusing someone of domestic violence and kicking their dog in your third video. Because this is what you said in your first video, which I'm also disproving.
And I don't want to put a lot of like hearsay into this video. You should just believe the receipts that I'm showing you and not what I'm saying.
Well, I've looked at the receipts, Dawson, and so far they're telling me that you're a lying asshole. And before you try and defend yourself with plausible deniability, I'll just play this clip.
Mr. Beast knows this, but you know, he's a poker player. He likes a little bluffery, a little plausible deniability.
Also, me disproving cheap attempts at slander from this guy doesn't mean I'm defending this guy. I know a lot of people believe in the delusion that defending Mr. Beast is the safe option. I know there's people have been living under a rock lately, but defending Mr. Beast right now is actual career.
And it's literally, like, I cannot express this enough. That, like, even Oompville, he made a video in which he was speaking about how badly mismanaged the Rosanna Pansino and Dogpack video was, where they were talking about the alleged Ivanka Trump CP. It's kind of fucking ludicrous to me that, like, even he, somebody who is like so much bigger than me, such a huge following, everybody loves Oompville, even he was receiving extremely negative commentary for even pointing this out. Despite a billion times in that video, I think we counted in the last stream on Twitch, a billion times in that video, we heard him say, Mr. Beast bad, he is a terrible guy, we should not support him, this is a terrible thing that he's doing. But what they did is kind of messing shit up, and we really need to, you know, focus on them and let them know that, like, they need to fuck off a minute. That's essentially what the crux of his video was. And even he, a person with a much bigger following, a much bigger loyal and dedicated audience, received so much hate on his videos. So being a Mr. Beast defender is not beneficial to anyone. I myself, in this time, have lost close to 1,000 subscribers. Quite frankly, the trash, you took yourself out. I'm fine, you disappear. But I lost close to 1,000 subscribers over a 27,000 view video of Rosanna Pansino and me talking about that. Where I'm talking about a video that she posted to her channel that I felt was extremely factually incorrect, and they needed to do something about it and at least acknowledge their faults. And that was the be-all and end-all of my discussion. Still, the overwhelming conversation was Mr. Beast bad. So being a quote-unquote Mr. Beast meat rider is not beneficial. It's not beneficial to anyone. But when people feel that they are right and they are compelled by something, they are going to keep saying it. And this is why I wanted to make this stream for you guys tonight, so that you guys can see that, like, when I really feel something, if I feel that I did something wrong, the video will be taken down. There will be an explanation somewhere on the internet, right? Be that in the community tabs, be that in a Twitter post, but my Twitter's taken down now, but my Twitter post, or any other social media platform. I will give an explanation for why something has been taken down because I don't stand by it, or I made an incorrect assertion, or I did something wrong in the video that I feel twisted it up. That has rarely happened, but when it does happen, right? That's all you have to do. Just make sure that you are following that and making sure that you're cleaning up after yourself. But for some reason, people are held to completely different standards. We can still say Mr. Beast bad, whilst also saying that this is really effing up everything. And the amount of holes that this person, I mean, I don't agree with all of them so far, but the amount of holes that this person has been able to poke into Dogpack's investigation is going to be, I think, for the general audience member who isn't paying too much attention to what's going online and isn't chronically online like the rest of us, they're going to look at this and think, oh, well, why the fuck should we listen to anything this guy says? When there was real fucking allegations that genuinely needed eyes and attention. This is the problem it is that I'm having with everything.
Suicide. While regurgitating Dogpack's lies is the easy and safe way to generate millions of views and hundreds of thousands of dollars. But in my opinion, blindly taking either side should be heavily frowned upon, because there are some very questionable and fucked up decisions Mr. Beast has made that he needs to be held accountable for. And I'll get to that. However, to effectively criticize him, help genuine victims, and hold him morally and legally accountable, we must first clear the table of all of the lies that have been spread by Dawson French, aka Dogpack 404, such as the lie of Feastables using child slavery.
You gotta remember, like, this is somebody within the community holding the community accountable, and I feel like this is also a part of what YouTube is, right? How many times has there been a cancer within our community that the whole community comes together and bands together and say, get the fuck out, you are terrible. Like the I'm Alex situation. We all know about the I'm Alex allegations, the videos, the sound bites, the horrible things it is that we've seen and heard, him being a misogynist, him being a racist, him being just a deplorable human being. And so much of the community held that man to the fire, like a general consensus from everyone, whether you are a beauty drama YouTuber, whether you're a long form content video creator, or whether you are a drama channel, regardless of where on the spectrum you were, anyone who did commentary said, fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. We do not stand for anything that he stands for. The whole community came together. So when the community, and I'm talking about the commentary community, not just the community at large, but when the community, Umpville, this guy, myself, Xylee, Nicholas Diorio, and we're all coming together to say, this is not cool. What's taking place here is terrible and it's not going to end well for everyone, then I feel like people need to really just open their ears and listen. Because we don't do this just to take down people. We don't develop as a group, as a hive mentality to do that. Sometimes the audience needs to take their own biases out of it. If you like Rosanna Pansino, you can still like Rosanna Pansino with the knowledge that she made a misstep. It's not the biggest thing in the whole entire world. Rosanna Pansino is a great person. She's a great human being. I like her content. I like her nummy bakeries and all that kind of stuff. She just made a misstep. That is completely fine. No one is even going to judge you if you continue to support her after this, girl. Nobody cares. But we have to acknowledge what has been done wrong. Same goes with Dogpack. Dogpack's a great guy. He seems really funny. He's really nice. I like the way he does his videos. I love his presenting style, XYZ. He made a misstep. You can still support him. Nobody is saying that you have to be at a crossroads in whether you can continue to support somebody. We just have to acknowledge wrongdoing. We have to acknowledge where we've made missteps. And that's nothing, like, it's human. I cannot express how this is just human. This is human behavior. We all get things wrong, but not me, because I'm always right. Okay.
It takes a single Google search to find several public articles to prove that from October 2023, the same time when they took their slave-free banner off of the Feastables website, they've been in talks to join Tony's Chocolonely's Open Chain Ethical Sourcing Initiative, and did so officially from March 2024, which, if you don't know, Tony's Chocolonely's is a Dutch chocolate brand known...
Can I just tell you that Tony's Chocolate is by far some of the best chocolate I have ever had in my life. No cap. If I'm saying I want a chocolate bar, it's Tony's. That shit is fucking delicious. The salted caramel one? The salted caramel one is out of this world. And they are ethically produced. There's like a whole thing behind the design of the chocolate, but I don't want to put useless information in this video.
For their goal to produce chocolate as ethically as possible, and one of few companies legitimately doing so. And now Feastables is the first major US-based company who joined them with the goal to actively reduce child labor and slavery in the chocolate production process. But then, why they take slave-free banner off of Feastables' website? Well, dear Dogbag, already typing that question up on Twitter, you can literally read the answer on the Tony Chocolonely's website. Why did you make the switch from slave-free to exploitation-free? We've adapted.
Probably because it can be misconstrued, and that's honestly not the vibes. I feel like it's kind of obvious why they would have switched. Like, I understand the intention, but the impact is going to be completely different. It's kind of an obvious one, in my humble opinion. Tony's is amazing. Corpse, isn't it the best chocolate? Like, I'm not even hyping this up because it's ethically produced. Just period, point blank, period. And the amount of chocolate you get in your bar, like, if you compare that to brands like Galaxy, like Nestle and Cadbury's, you get so much more bang for your buck. Honestly, I cannot. If you ever see a Tony's chocolate bar of any flavor in a store and you haven't tried it, try it once. Try it once and then come back to me in a comment section somewhere and say, Paige, you were right. Do you know what? Paige, you were right. Do it.
Adapted our mission messaging to help us express the scope of impact work we do today. When Tony started, we were laser focused on one issue in the cocoa industry, but as we've grown, our areas of impact have grown too. Our mission statement needs to be inclusive of all the work we do today, from addressing multidimensional poverty to remediating child labor and everything in between. Wow! It took one Google search to not falsely accuse someone of using child slavery? Yes. For the people who don't know, Dogbag did falsely accuse someone of DV and AB.
Mr. Beast, Dogpack404, put out his third video, Mr. Beast's Secret CEO, in which he was later proven to have accused an innocent man, James Warren, Mr. Beast's cousin, of domestic violence. He later admitted this on Twitter after his own source disproved him and he looked into it himself, only to find out he accused the wrong guy.
And that slanders video is still up, by the way, after more than a month of people begging him to take it down. Disclaimer, he took it down a few days ago, but after almost 2 months and 3.1 million views, you're like,
and girl, it's unlisted. That means that people can still find it if they have the link. I'm sorry, not enough.
Getting off the hook that easily, Dawson. And the video of the false CP allegations is also still up. He also made live ruining allegations against Lokoya Hill, who was the person that made the decision to fire Dogbag. Here's an audio clip from the leaked firing interview at Beast.
I'm Lokoya, I'm our CEO.
No, girl, shut the fuck up! Shut up! So Lokoya was the person who fired Dawson? I'm sorry. So Lokoya fired Dawson, and that's why okay, we're gonna rewind. He threw that on us so fast. I was not even prepared for what you just said.
He also made live ruining allegations against Lokoya Hill, who was the person that made the decision to fire Dogbag. Here's an audio clip from the leaked firing interview at Beast.
I'm Lokoya, I'm our CEO. Part of my job is that you're pushing back on everything that we're saying. So what?
Well, because you're trying to fire me, and I want to work at this company.
I'm the CEO of this company. If I'm talking, don't interrupt me. And I am telling you this is what's happening, and you're telling me that I'm wrong. I am not wrong. I've made the decision. I'm here. We will take care of it.
I appreciate that. Can I please have a second chance?
It's not.
Just, if I'm getting paid, just let me come in and let me.
Oh my god, this is embarrassing. You better take that shit like a man. Chin out. What do you mean? What do you mean? I have been fired from plenty of jobs. Let me just make this clear. Your girl, before you two, she wasn't very good at employment, bitch. I was one of those. I've had several jobs in my lifetime. You would say I've lived many lives. Never in any time that I have been fired or let go or redundancy from a position have I ever asked my employer to give me another chance. You accept that shit. You say thank you for all of your hospitality. I really appreciate all of you. I'd love to keep in touch for further endeavors, and you keep it pushing. You got to keep that shit professional. That is so embarrassing. That is embarrassing. One more time.
He also made live ruining allegations against Lokoya Hill, who was the person that made the decision to fire Dogbag. Here's an audio clip from the leaked fire.
It's like Sambi just goes, honestly, interrupting the COO of your company is wild behavior. Because 100%, the COO of the company comes to talk to you and you're interrupting them? Where is your decorum? This is not very demure. Okay, let me make that clear. This is not very mindful and not very demure. Okay.
Hiring interview at Beast.
I'm a lawyer. I'm our COO. Part of my job is that you're pushing back on everything that we're saying. So what?
Well, because you're trying to fire me, and I want to work at this company.
I'm the CEO of this company. If I'm talking, don't interrupt me. And I am telling you this.
If I'm talking, don't interrupt me. Oh my god. Not your firing being aired like this. I'm sorry. I'm genuinely gagged. Not you being fired aired like this on the internet. Oh, I'd hate for this to be me, bro. I mean, I don't talk back, but I'd still hate for this to be me. I don't know how he got his hand on this recording, but this is petty as shit, and I live for it. Oh my god.
This is what's happening, and you're telling me that I'm wrong. I am not wrong. I've made the decision. Here, we will take care of.
I appreciate that. Can I please have a second chance?
It's not.
Just, if I'm getting paid, just let me come in and let me try to be coachable. If Hoodie changes his...
If I'm being paid, just let me come in. If somebody's giving me my full month's pay, I am not coming in a single extra day. What do you mean? You fired me and I'm asking to still come in to work? What am I listening to? This doesn't feel real. Somebody come and debunk this and say it's AI generated immediately, because if I've been fired and they're paying me for the full month, I'm not coming into work a single day. And realistically, no company is going to allow you to come in because they're going to think to themselves, we fired this person. They're going to have animosity. The only time that you're expected to work your leave is when you decide to leave the company, where you're expected to give them 2 weeks notice or a month's notice, and you have to work the month. That's the only situation that you would be working the full month. Why would you ask to come back in after being fired? Wild. Embarrassing, actually.
I've been trying to get to this point of working on Mr. Beast for a long time.
I wonder why he's trying to destroy Lokoya's life.
I think there are other people at the company. If I were to switch departments, that would be very happy to have me. I don't...
What, you mean switching departments like you said the alleged Charles S.A. was? What, switching departments so they could hide him? You want to switch departments? Yo, that's wild. That's wild. I'm sorry. Dawson's done out here, bro. He's done. He's done. I want to see his face. He is done. He is done out here, bro. There is no way. Sam B just says, now hold on, his career goal was working for Mr. Beast. Kind of sad. Is he okay? Like, when you really think about it, maybe he needs therapy. Are you alright? Why is your life's goal, Mr. Beast? The bar in hell.
I don't care about the salary.
It's not what happened, dude.
Or Doc Scara.
She's your hiring manager.
Or put a picture of his manager on his psychotic wall for no reason but personal spite. Coincidentally, all three.
Zach, I want to read that message. You're not going to slide that past me, Mr. Soggy. Right, it says, I get if he's upset with the company, was his dream job that just didn't work out, but to randomly put me there as a form of revenge in front of millions made me see his video through the context of someone with a grudge rather than fair criticism of things that we could do better on. Ooh, you kind of ate that, because why is he in it? Like, he was like the Nene Leakes meme, like, okay, but why am I in it? He was the Nene Leakes right now. He's like, what the fuck am I doing here? That's bad. Yeah, it does make him look like I feel like this is enough evidence for me to say that, yeah, Dogpat probably had a little bit of a grudge going on.
Coincidentally, all three of those people were in the room when Dogpack was fired.
I'm our COO.
Car, we are still going to reimburse you.
This is the original contract, and the...
So all of them were in the fucking firing interview? I cannot. All of them were in the firing interview? I cannot. Bro, laugh my ass off. Imagine begging for your job to be back after effing up. Yeah, this is really embarrassing. And all of them were in his firing. Yeah, it looks like a disgruntled employee. Yeah. And you know what? We're now giving W's to Mr. Beast, where... honestly, we need to be giving L's because he has so much room for improvement, so much that he needs to sort out, so much condemnable practice taking place. Yet we're now giving him dubs because we can't even put together a cohesive piece of journalism. I'm sorry.
Original NDA.
It's like he's just doing all this out of a personal grudge. Yes.
We will lie if we have to. I mean,
of course.
I just try to be honest, I guess.
What is selfless hero? You know, a selfless hero who, whenever he can, mentions that he didn't make these slanderous videos with any personal gain in mind.
That's like the whole point of this is the video's not monetized. It's on a new account.
Wait, what do you mean that's the whole point? You didn't say that.
Like, you know, in the description of my video, it says, or in the intro too, it says this is not
Hey guys, if you didn't know, I'm a good person. Hi, I'm Troy McClure, and I am a good person.
monetized, because if it's monetized, then people think I'm just doing it for clout and money.
But you're doing it to expose the truth on woke media.
Exactly.
But you're doing it to expose the truth on woke media.
Exactly.
This is textbook manipulation. Him saying he's not gaining anything out of these videos is extremely deceptive. He gained 700,000 loyal subscribers, collaborations with huge creators which he's clearly trying to abuse, and it's all built on lies, deceit, and manipulation. If there is one person who gained anything from all this, it's Dogpack. And purely out of principle, I'm putting a mid-roll ad here. Here Dogpack talks about how Mr. Beast scammed everyone by having people pay to get their memes sent to the moon, the rocket exploding, and them not offering refunds. First of all, people have shown proof of getting refunds even before the failed launch, just because it took longer than expected. Second of all, have you thought about a second launch? And as usual,
Yeah, we're trying to get a second space mission with the memes to the moon going, but it takes a lot of time and planning. So that's from somebody who works at Mr. Beast.
I don't just have to take Dustin's word for it. The news article, which you put in your proof document, literally states the following. However, failure would not mean the end for S-Robotic, which is the company Mr. Beast paid to carry a copy of the hard drive filled with the memes. It's certainly going to have some impact on our relationships and our ability to secure additional missions in the future. S-Robotic already has a contract to fly another robotic lunar lander mission for NASA later this year. And this conveniently went unmentioned in your video.
3 years later, the spaceship finally launched, carrying beautiful pictures of deceased loved ones to the moon, where they would be immortalized. It fucking exploded.
Side note, here Dogpack also uses another very manipulative tactic, where he shows this stinky, dinky scrap metal rocket instantly exploding, which made people believe that Mr. Beast was really trying to nickel and dime this entire space mission, while in reality the actual spacecraft carrying the hard drive was a high quality Vulcan Centaur rocket.
Oh, nah, bro. That is so intentionally misleading. Like, those are two different things. That shit looks legit. That's crazy. That's so intentionally misleading. I'm sorry.
Made in collaboration with NASA as well as the ULA.
Vulcan rocket, launching a new era in spaceflight to the moon and beyond.
Stinky dinky rocket. High quality spacecraft carrying the hard drive with memes from Mr. Beast. Dogpack's manipulation. Reality. But Soggy, what about the insider knowledge he has from working there?
In my opinion, as somebody who worked for Mr. Beast,
it has been proven time and time again, he only worked there for 20 workdays. As a new employee in like a 250 to 300 employee company, you're not gonna get much credible insider knowledge in 20 days. But he also had anonymous text messages from ex-Mr. Beast employees. Well, see, I have two notes on that. One is that I feel like anonymous text messages can be used as tangible proof if either you have the receipts to back them up, or you as a person can be trusted to not have faked or manipulated them. Which, I don't think we can trust Dawson on that one. And two, even if those messages are from legitimate ex-Mr. Beast employee.
That's kind of crazy. So many holes have been poked in this story that we're now actually questioning the credibility that Dogpack would not intentionally give us fake information. And like, when we're at that point, like, then yeah, we have ruined a very fucking credible investigation into Mr. Beast because of personal vendetta.
They're wrong. This text, for example, which Dogpack uses as a foundation for Mr. Beast rigging his challenges, according to them, after a shift change in the 100 Boys v Girls video, no girls were eliminated when closing off their circles, so it was pretty much rigged. They think? Okay. love the lack of confidence in their own claims, and the lack of confidence makes sense. Because if you simply watch the 100 Girls v Boys video, you can clearly see a girl got eliminated during that part of the challenge. And in this behind the scenes video, you can even see how many cameras they had to make sure the challenge wasn't rigged.
So we could constantly monitor it. This is the kind of stuff we don't normally show. We had to have 6 or 7 people here monitoring every angle, because if they just touch the red line, they're out.
He also used this video as a prime example of Mr. Beast never using random subscribers, even though multiple people who can be identified by their nameplate can be proven to be random, non-influencer contestants from outside of North Carolina.
They are never random subscribers. If you subscribe, you will not win $1 million.
I subscribed to Mr. Beast and literally won $1 million.
Oh, that contestant had to get out for her job? I guess you forgot she's your hiring manager. I actually recognize a lot of people in this video, including Jimmy's own girlfriend.
Yeah, Dawson. Because they were filling in for contestants who had COVID at the time. You can see Mr. Beast's girlfriend publicly talking about this in a podcast from years ago, by the way.
I saw on your Twitter that you were in the video 100 Girls vs 100 Boys for $500,000.
Yes, that was an accident. On the day, everybody had to go for COVID, and a lot of people came, got their COVID test, and they tested positive. And the girls somehow ended up with way too little contestants. So I got a call randomly from the studio, and they're like, we need a female.
What, you wanted them to let contestants with COVID participate in the challenge? And in this podcast, she also says that the contestants were informed beforehand that even if they lost, they'd still receive the $5,000 prize money.
Which was the plot twist. Even if you leave, you get to keep the $5,000, which makes it easier for people to leave the circle.
Yeah.
So the goal was, it was sort of a psychological test, really.
And the people know that if they left, that they would still win.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was the big plot twist, which...
Oh, I didn't realize that. So if they left the circle, because the thing was 1,000 girls, or 100 girls versus 100 boys, or 50 girls versus, I can't remember the amount, but girls versus boys, whoever goes out of the circle loses. They incentivized it, because obviously Mr. Beast doesn't want to just, you know, have to give all this money to how many different people, right? So they incentivize it by the people who are in these circles will always get $5,000 if they did decide to leave the circle, which kind of makes the whole situation different.
I'm a huge fan of.
So not only were you wrong on all accounts, this is probably the worst video you could have possibly tried building your case on, that Mr. Beast challenges are rigged. And then your only other example of this accusation is the "in 10 minutes this room will explode" video.
I want to show one more example. This is a real-time video, meaning that time elapses the same in the video as it does in real life. And the timer is clearly added in post.
Okay, this is just getting embarrassing at this point, but you sent me this picture, Dawson, to seem more credible by proof.
Yo, so Dawson actually showed him a picture of the timer actually being there. That's kind of crazy. It's feeling very much intentional.
Like you were on the set of a video, and if you look real closely at the picture that you took, you'll notice that it's the set from the 10-minute video, where you can see that the timer was in fact not added in post.
So you could assume that producers might be off camera with remote switches to trigger the flow of water.
Assume my ass. You didn't assume shit, you're breaking your NDA by spreading confidential info you knew from being on that set. And yes.
Yo, so he's saying the NDA is that you would have had in place with Mr. Beast is now coming into question because you were sending me this and then going forth and spreading misinformation. Do you think that it's a case that his internal biases just took a strong hold over him and he just couldn't see nothing but Mr. Beast is a piece of dog shit and we should all hate him? Because I can understand that. Like, if the internal biases just got so strong that he just couldn't control himself. Maybe that's what happened. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like when Jim Carrey puts on the mask. You know what I mean? He can't control who he is when he's the mask. It's the mask. So maybe that's what it is.
I do give permission to anyone whose life got damaged by Dawson French to use my video against him in court.
The producers might know how long it takes for the water to clear.
He's saying my stuff holds up in court. I mean, snaps and chance. He just said my stuff will hold up in court, and if you need to use my video in a court of law, feel free. Girl, that's amazing. The cockiness, I love it.
You're out of the room, so they can sort of decide on the fly how many turns of the valve it takes, or just when to trigger the water in general to make the results close.
No, they did it for safety, as to not force someone to exert extreme force trying to turn valves underwater in a room submerged in water. Just like they replaced contestants who had COVID with employees, because for safety reasons. A thing you so vehemently claim they lack at the company. Same with this video, where a safety team forced the MrBeast crew off of their raft in the 7 Days Stranded at Sea video for about an hour because of this dangerous lightning storm. Wait, what was it you said again?
You can clearly see there's no one in the shelter. These are their empty beds. But you didn't spend the night soaked, Jimmy. You slept on the production yacht.
Oh yeah. You lied about them allegedly sleeping on a luxurious production yacht. No, they were forced to stay on a rusty barge for about an hour for their own safety and went back on their raft as soon as a life-threatening lightning storm passed. And here is video proof from the rusty barge.
Oh, nah, bro. Oh my god. Yeah, regardless of whether it was all intentional or not, this is by Ali Fair. They said so many of his claims are false when investigated further, as Soggy Cereal has been demonstrating. Yeah, I think we're at this place right now where it's like, so then what can we trust? And when I'm at that point where I'm like, I can't trust you so much, what can I trust? Then that throws the whole situation aboard. You know what I mean? Like, what are we supposed to do now? The people who were spearheading the most egregious claims against MrBeast, his enterprise, and the people he's affiliated with, literally, fundamentally cannot be trusted. So if anyone looks at this and then goes, oh, I'm not going to trust anything he says, the credible claims, no one hears it.
Wow, what a luxurious yacht! Now you can still argue about the fact that they went off of the raft, but I don't think it's faking a challenge when you're forced by your safety team to leave your raft once to get on a rusty barge for about an hour to sit out a life-threatening lightning storm, to then get back on the raft as soon as possible. It's making sure people don't die. On one side you're preaching, the MrBeast company isn't safe enough.
Wow.
But then you use every single example of them actually implementing safety protocols against them as a...
He's eating this video. Soggy, whoever you are, sir, you are eating this video, because literally every example of MrBeast exhibiting safety has been used as a way to say that he isn't being safe, and that's just like it's intentionally misleading the audience. There's no other way to put that. Intentionally misleading the audience. There's no other way to put it. That's the only way it will be. It's doublespeak, 100%. Thirsty and Moist. What a great name. Thirsty and Moist, 100%.
If they're doing it to rig challenges or not always use random subscribers, do I really have to explain why they don't use complete strangers in challenges that include a man and a woman having to stay together in a small enclosed space for 100 days? Pick a side, Dawson. Do you want them to fucking die for a challenge, or do you want them to be saved? That's why the 24 people in a circle for $1 million video didn't get published, which Dawson insinuates was some elaborate scheme to force more people to buy shirts, and then they'd run away with the profit.
We're gonna have 24 people, we're gonna put them in 24 different circles, $1 million on the line, have some fun, you know what I'm saying?
Also, this video never happened. There is no MrBeast video of 24 people in circles competing for $1 million. So like, did they just pocket the money or what?
Well, again, it was because of peak COVID. And this time, I'll let a contestant who took part in that 24 people in the circle for $1 million challenge explain what happened. I've heard that you were in the 24 people in a circle compete for $1 million challenge?
Okay, so it seems as if this challenge did take place, and because of COVID, it just never aired. So it seems as if MrBeast would have taken a financial L in terms of this challenge. And now this Soggy guy has got a member who was a part of the challenge to come and speak, not anonymous. I kind of love this.
Yep. Can you talk a bit about how you were invited to that challenge, what kind of happened, why it was never published?
MrBeast started that 24-hour live stream where he was signing t-shirts and giving stuff away for that challenge. So I threw that on. I'm like, look, we'll just put this on in the background. We'll watch it the whole time. And he was giving away tickets, and I just kept blowing up the comment section. I didn't even buy a shirt. I won one of the invitations through the comment section on YouTube.
Oh, for free?
Oh, so the live stream that was being condemned by Dogpack actually saw somebody have the opportunity to partake in a MrBeast video. Interesting.
It's like a Free participation, no purchase necessary, I guess.
Yeah, during like the height of COVID and everything, it was actually in November. We quarantined for 2 weeks. It was a super nice hotel, like, 2 bedrooms. They'd bring meals to our room 3 times a day. It was good food, just wanting to keep everybody safe and make sure that we're doing protocols the best the way that we could to engage in this video. We all COVID tested, did a giant circle. There was 24 of us, and right in the middle, there's $1 million. And we competed for a few days. All of a sudden, in the middle of the night, one of the subcontractors that worked for the team came in and kind of rushed the gun and didn't wait for his COVID results. And he tested positive. And Jimmy came out and he's like, guys, I hate to do this, but one of the guys on the crew has tested positive.
But then they had to shut down the whole operation. So because one guy tested positive for COVID and then rushed to return to work, the whole production had to be shut down. Despite all of these people who had partaken in this challenge being COVID tested as well as being quarantined for 2 weeks in order to make this happen. So something like a literal external factor took place. And he's saying, what did Jimmy do? Pocket the money? This is terrible. Like, at the very minimum, we should just be saying this is terrible journalism.
Gotta keep you all safe. So they canceled the video and they apologized. They sent us all home with 10 grand. As an apology after the...
And he gave them 10 grand as an apology for their time. Not a single one of them will be making 10 grand for 2 weeks of work and an additional couple of days of however they did that challenge. There's no way you would work. Most people, there's nowhere most people would work where they would get 10 grand for that time. Jesus Christ.
The new year in January or something like that, we actually got the call again that they were going to refilm this video. And they brought us all back out. And they're like, it's not going to be a 2-week quarantine. We're going to do like a 4 or 5 day quarantine. And during that period of time, pretty much everybody got COVID, including myself. Like, he's just like, I'm so sorry, but like.
So they tried to quarantine them additionally to try and, get the video it is that they were trying to produce rolling, but then they'd all been contaminated by this one guy.
We literally we can't do it because everybody's sick, but we'll make.
Listen, I have had but one 10 grand month here on YouTube, and I will tell you right now, I would give 2 weeks of my life to fucking 10 grand. Are you crazy? I don't think there's anyone here in chat, okay? I'm assuming we're all either middle class or poor, right? Obviously, the financial situation of the world, we are literally only middle class and poor. There is such a massive differentiation between the two. But I imagine every single person in this chat would not say no to 2 weeks of their life for 10 grand.
Make it up to you in the future. And again, even then, he gave us like financial contributions to help.
Did they split just like the $1 million over everyone?
Exactly.
Or they just split the entire $1 million prize money over every 24 contestants.
They took the $1 million and divided it through the 24.
They gave you.
So even though it wasn't even aired and produced, he gave all of the contestants the 1 million prize fund divided by all of them. Those 24 people who were supposed to be involved in the Mr. Beast game, they all had $1 million divided between all of them, and it never even aired. There was no return for Mr. Beast on this production. Now, we can say it's performative. We can say Mr. Beast, he's being performative. He just doesn't want anyone to say anything negative about them, and maybe that's it. Maybe he wasn't doing it out of the goodness of his heart, and maybe he was doing it just so the world would look at him and think, wow, Mr. Beast is a good guy. Maybe it is performative. But goddamn, $1 million by 24 and you've already got 10 grand in the bank because of the inconvenience? That is insane. Nobody's saying no to that. If he's not a good guy, at least he made a really good front of pretending that he's a good guy. At least he made a front of it. Because, my gosh. I mean, quid's up. Cool, I'm going home. Chill. That's amazing.
You guys, $1,240,000 in total, I guess.
Just stay in a hotel room.
Jesus Christ. You guys get the point that this guy is about as trustworthy as Richard Nixon during Watergate. And at this point he has broken his NDA, committed serious defamation time and time again, and in the process harmed not just Mr. Beast, but also several other innocent people, who clearly mean nothing more to him than collateral damage. I'm actually surprised people don't want this guy sued, but hey, I'm no lawyer, so I don't know what's illegal. So I called one. And what Dawson is doing is surely not legal.
Oh, he spoke to a lawyer. This is what I am talking about. Remember in the start video, in the intro, when I started the stream, I said to you guys that when it comes to these kind of things, we need to cross our T's and dot our I's. This is what crossing your T's and dotting your I's looks like. He has made sure that there is no stone unturned before he produces this video. And even had the cockiness, the gall, the gumption to turn around and say, if this video needs to be used in a court of law, I'll stand 10 behind it in court too. Like, snaps. Again, for the people in Twitch, snaps in chat. If you got the emoji, use it. Snaps in chat. YouTube people, you will get it soon if you join members.
Now the results of an investigation done into the Mr. Beast LLC by an external third-party law firm have been shared and completely aligns with all of the evidence I found. So if at this point you still choose to believe this guy, I kindly want to ask you to stop watching my video and continue putting crayons up your nose while drooling over Dogpack's face.
Hey!
What however is legal is the second illegal lottery.
But almost any clip you do find will have some new violation of internet gambling or sweepstakes laws.
I thought it was him. I was like, he won. Wait, really? Let's go. Wait, it's literally like his initial. Who is it? My cousin. Wait, really?
Actually, that's illegal.
Actually, that's not illegal. Only immediate family can partake in your sweepstakes, and the cousin is not immediate family. It would have been illegal to exclude Chandler's cousin unless if specified in the rules of that specific giveaway. And your snippet isn't from those rules. It's from some lawyer's equivalent to Stack Overflow.
So here's a clip of Tyler maybe not forging, using Mr. Beast's signature. And again, I'm not a lawyer. I think this is fraud.
Maybe ask your immediate lawyer next time, because your opinions are fucking stupid. It's completely legal and fine to use someone else's signature if they gave you formal consent to do so, and it doesn't devalue the—
Yeah, I don't know about this one, bro. I'm just gonna be honest, I don't know about this one. If I was asking for Mr. Beast signed merch, and I thought that by doing something I was gonna get Mr. Beast signed merch, if I'm not getting Mr. Beast signed merch, I'm gonna be really upset. You know what I mean? I think that's fair to say. I'm not vibing with this one. So that's 2 now. Strike 2 for this video. 2 things that, whilst that I feel are more so opinion-based rather than rooted in actual fact. So those are 2 things now that I'm saying that I believe to be more opinion-based rather than rooted in actual fact.
His signature.
Months later, Mr. Beast signed shirts again, but this time it was a 24-hour live stream with way more illegal lotteries.
Nope. Mr. Beast had no purchase necessary in the description, and even though they did say things like—
Would you guys prefer that we throw money in random orders or that we throw items in random orders? Yeah.
Somebody
screamed in chat, I want to switch. Buy a shirt.
If they ended up picking out of both free and paid entries for those giveaways behind the scenes, which there is no reason to believe they didn't, well, then that is legal in live streams. However, I do agree that it's very scummy and manipulative advertising in my—
Yeah, I think it's really sketchy, but I also appreciate, unlike the Dogpack video it is that we watched, I also appreciate that this soggy guy is acknowledging that this is kind of testy waters. I wish he did that for the other 2 points that I felt were a little bit
opinion. Now, even though I have disproven most of these accusations, there's still a few that I have to investigate deeper. And since Dogpack404 declined every interview offer, the only other place I could dig up the truth—
Not him writing that he's retired. I'm sorry, I need to read this conversation real quick.
And since Dogpack404 declined every—
So it says, I'm retired. I'm done with Beast unless they provoke me again. This is another lie. Rosanna Pansino CP vid was weeks after this, and the DMs were in fact not insane. My DMs are insane. If I leaked them all, I would be over. What does that mean? I referred everyone to journalists, though. Well, I mean, for my investigation, so not via DMs or whatever, but a call. He went, nah. He goes, okay, then, but how do I get your side? He goes, DM me. But, yeah, but I mean, like an interview should be call, right? Because DMs might be contextual / interpretive mistakes.
Interview offer. The only other
place
I could dig up the truth is in the belly of the beast.
Oh man, North Carolina?
Isn't that the boring part of the US?
Oh well.
Now on my...
Did he go over to North Carolina? This, what did I say? This is what it looks like to cross your T's and dot your I's. This is what it looks like. Honestly, props to him for going to North Carolina. Oh my God. I'd love to do this kind of stuff for a video.
My 8-hour sleep-deprived flight, I had a lot of time to think, and there was one question that just kept bugging me. Why did Dogpack commit such serious defamation and violate his NDA? Why risk your entire life just to spread lies about a YouTuber? So I went over everything I knew about Dogpack to try and figure out his motivation. I rewatched his first 2 job applications for MrBeast, which both got denied, and they seemed obsessive at best and pretentiously unprofessional at worst. I went over his personal Reddit account, that 5head guy, which, for the geriatrics watching, 5head is hip internet lingo for when a person says something very smart, so he's calling himself...
Oh, okay. I thought a 5-head was like a 4-head like mine that goes like really far up the head. That's what I thought a 5-head was. It wasn't a 4-head, it's a 5-head.
Very smart, which is pretty pretentious and cringe. I was starting to see multiple patterns here. Hundreds.
Hold on, Hannah just goes, this is how you do commentary.
Obsessive posts and comments on the MrBeast subreddit. New MrBeast interview just dropped. Feasible designs. Him being pretentious, saying he would do shorts better than the current shorts team at MrBeast. Rants whenever people criticized his video IDs. Another third 15-minute long obsessive MrBeast job application where he goes into depth on viewer psychology, showcasing how aware he is of how every small piece of a video can be used to manipulate the...
Oh God. What do you mean? This is embarrassing for Dogpack. Do you know who I'd hate to be right now? Dogpack. Do you know what I'd love to be right now? A fly on his wall. This is embarrassing. And he used that to manipulate us. Like, yes, all of the information is that he used and he garnered, you know, by saying MrBeast appears to kids. This is gambling for kids. He was aware of all of this. And he still wanted a job with MrBeast and cried when they said, no, you need to leave. Can you vacate the premises immediately?
The viewer in one way or another. It now made sense why Dawson used the exact same Content Cop outfit as iDubbbz, or why he kept repeating his videos weren't monetized, or how he was able to frame and manipulate every lie as if it were the truth. It really all was viewer manipulation? This entire Reddit account just seems like the online embodiment of an unhealthy MrBeast obsession. So then I went over his erratic DMs to me where he threatened to slander me with nothing but false claims. Luckily when he did that I still had bulletproof receipts, so Dawson had no choice but to back down. Nonetheless, this once again proved to me how Dogpack accuses and tries silencing people without any fact checking and completely tries warping the truth to push his personal agenda. So was he really just doing all this because his ego couldn't accept the fact that he got fired from his dream job after only 3 weeks at a YouTuber?
Could you imagine? So he is, from what we're led to believe by this video, obviously I have not done my own research, so I cannot base this in fact at this moment in time. But if what we're to believe to be true, he is a guy who was like so emphatically enamored with MrBeast, desperately wanted to be a MrBeast employer, made numerous different video applications showing that he knew the company, he knew the brand, he knew their marketing, he knew their demographic, and that how he had the ability to be able to utilize that to the best of his ability in order to make the MrBeast enterprise more money. He goes on for 3 weeks. They say you're overstating your welcome. You keep, you know, cutting people off and it's not really working for us. You need to leave. The 3 people who were at his meeting were involved in his video in some way, whether that be visually or by vocal spoken word. And then he makes a video completely, in my humble opinion, at least 80% at this moment in time, defaming MrBeast and the MrBeast enterprise and their real intentions because of his own grudge, when there are tangible, real receipts and evidence and witness statements about MrBeast that definitely need to be looked into, and a bigger conversation about how there is little to no regulation for what I would consider mainstream YouTubers. People who are above that 10 million subscriber bracket, who are now working as a legitimate business, KSI, Sidemen, Logan Paul, Impulsive, etc. We now have a situation where literal YouTubers who are operating at multi-conglomerate business level have zero regulation. And now we're seeing the repercussions of that. But through everything that we're seeing, this was a man who desperately wanted to be a part of that, and when he was thrown asunder, that's when he got upset. At this point, it's like going and working for Jeffree Star and then being sad that he sacked you. You want me to feel sorry for you? You're working for Jeffree Star. You knew who Jeffree Star was before you hung out with Jeffree Star, so...
He was obsessed with? Maybe I'm gonna get some more answers at the Mr. Beast company, but for now, I'll just rewatch Minions for a third time.
Hi, Dustin Harris. You are the, well, rogue employee.
Bro, he's interviewing the employees. This is what crossing your T's are and dotting your I's. I love this. So it says, hey, Soggy, I'm Dustin Harris. I've been working at Mr. Beast for about 6 years now. I saw your slot video and wanted to help set the record straight about some of the misinformation online. To be clear, I think there is a lot of fair criticism out there. But at this point, it's a majority of misinformation and slander, not just against Jimmy, but against the work I do and the work my colleagues do.
And I first of all wanted to ask you what you do at Mr. Beast, what your role is, and why you decided to reach out and correct some of the accusations that have been made.
I worked for Jimmy almost 6 years, going on 6 years. I've been a writer, director, producer, production coordinator, an assistant, executive assistant, head of production, head of creative, head of construction, you name it. I've done everything that I can do in this company, and not just to see people slander the work that you've done, but to know that it's lies and misinformation will make anybody speak up, to be honest.
Hi Emily, you worked at Mr. Beast. Can you tell me how long you've been working there?
I've been working there for shortly over a year as of like 4 days ago. I'm the ideation strategist right now, ideation generator, coordinator, so that's...
Okay, somebody's gonna have to familiarize me. What does ideation mean? What does she mean by ideation? What does that entail?
It's my official title.
If I remember correctly, that is also where Dawson worked, or for the internet, Dogpack404 worked, yeah. So I'm
imagining ideation's like ideas person. That's what I'm thinking it is, but I don't want to be misconstrued.
Worked closely together with you.
Yeah, it was me and him in the department for about 2 weeks. It was just the two of us, and Hoodie was overseeing us.
Everybody calls me Hoodie because all I did back in the day, 8 years ago, was run my own YouTube channel, youtube.com/hoodie. I got to work all over in different departments. I've been in creative, I've been in ideation right now as far as thumbnail.
You're saying ideation manager, I guess then you were the manager of Dawson or Dogpack404.
I was the manager of Dogpack404 for a time being.
I've heard some stories of people feeling kind of off when he was hired, and I was wondering, why did you hire him?
I didn't hire that guy. Oh, no, I inherited that man.
Oh, okay, you didn't. Okay, how did that come?
Girl, he said I inherited that man. He did not like Dogpack. There is no way. He was like, oh, no, I wish I did. Nope, that was somebody else's thing and I got lumbered with it. According to Google, ideation refers to the process of developing and conveying prescriptive ideas to others, typically in a business setting. Okay, thank you very much for that, babe.
To be that.
You want to know, so the real thing that actually happened was he applied to Beast while I was still the creative manager. He applied to Beast twice, and I saw his interview and went, interesting, he's got an analytical brain.
Yeah.
That's not creative. Like, what he's talking about just won't fit what we're trying to do with it.
Oh, okay, so maybe this is the guy who gave the interview information. This is interesting.
Videos. So I turned him down the first time.
Okay.
Then he applies the second time a couple months later.
To ideation, I guess.
Still the creative.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, nah, this guy's still like, he's got like an interesting mind, but I don't know. I think he'd probably fit somewhere else in like a different department or a different channel. Who knows? He's clearly smart, but nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. A void opened up, something random happened. He spawned in on the channel, just randomly in ideation. I got summoned into a room and got told by our leaders, they're like, hey, there's a gap in ideation and thumbnail. I need somebody to go in there and help. can you be that guy? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go in.
Okay.
And I went in, and that's the first time I met Dawson.
Dawson sent me a screenshot of messages he had between you and him. Can you just verify that these are real? These are...
Yes,
Yeah, okay,
those
so
messages are between me and Dawson.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Can you tell me a bit about your relationship with Dawson during both of you guys working there? Was there something that felt off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, me and Dawson were cordial. Like, I tried to keep it professional. I think he tried his best to keep it professional, but I will say it was a little uncomfortable with just me and him in the office. He seemed pretty disinterested in making genuine connections with people at the company. He gave weird vibes for sure, and I felt like very uncomfortable working in the office with him. He didn't.
Okay, so this is like opinion based, so I'm just gonna leave that as it is. I'm not here to speculate whether he's a weird guy or not.
Seemed to work too well with others.
Okay.
It seemed like he had no respect for Hoodie. He didn't take any of Hoodie's advice. It seemed like he didn't think he knew what Hoodie was doing. But yeah, Dawson definitely did not like Hoodie. Yeah, did not like Hoodie, did not show him any respect, even though he was his superior and he was trying to train him into being a better ideation strategist.
So there was a leaked document, about like work culture, and there was a line in there. No, it doesn't mean no, and it has a pretty negative connotation. And I was wondering, because you as a woman working at Beast, what was your reaction when reading that no, it doesn't mean no thing? And
yeah, so I actually wrote that part. Like, yeah. That's why it's funny. Yeah, because I actually wrote this thing with Jimmy.
She was the woman who was allegedly doxxed. This is the hiring manager, Kara. She was allegedly doxxed in Dogpack's video. And apparently she's now admitting to all of us that she was the person who wrote the workers' pack, where it was like no doesn't always mean no, that a lot of people were really concerned about. And I think the wording definitely needs some work, in fairness.
Operator and go, hey man, I need you to drop a jet from your crane. And they're like, huh? No, I can't do that, right? And so for us, it's more like, well, why can't you do that? And they're like, oh, well, I don't have the manpower to do this. And it's like, okay, well, how do we help you get past that, right? Can we?
Yeah, so instead of like no doesn't always mean no, maybe just like question further, Question further, press with intent. Maybe press with intent. I don't know. It's just the wording needs to change, because no doesn't always mean no. It just sounds like a terrible mantra for anything, in my humble opinion.
Help get you more labor? Is it like that's what it means, because like we wouldn't have a company if we stopped at no at face value. Yeah. Right? Because if everybody that told us no, we couldn't do some of the crazy things that we've done. It, in no sense of the word, in the context, means like as a female, if somebody comes up to me and says an improper comment, like they keep trying, like not at all.
Okay,
you know
because that was kind of concerning, I guess. But
well,
yeah,
like
makes sense.
not at all, not at all.
Okay.
Like in any sense of the word, it's like no, like it's a sales tactic. It's been
But I will say that since the Mr. Beast internal investigation, they also did acknowledge that a new company handbook had to be created. So I feel like this is also something that Mr. Beast has acknowledged, at least in some form, that has to be changed.
around long before like we put it down on paper.
The truth of the matter is we were 4.5 weeks out of that video and we didn't have a hole or a train. And I don't know if you know any.
Like, controlled opposition. Jokes aside, person wanted to be censored, but not his voice distorted. On CGI versus the Train Pit video. What does he mean by controlled opposition? So he wanted his voice to be heard, but not his visual to be shown? Is that what he's saying? Oh no, I'm confused by that one.
Anything about digging dirt, but it takes a long time to dig a hole that deep. And the location we ended up shooting it at happens to be a close personal friend of mine, and just happened to have a 50-foot deep quarry that was already dug. And the creative behind the video was that it was an 80-foot hole. So I had to get it dug another 30 feet in 4 weeks, which that much limestone is a lot to do. So we hired a massive excavating team to come out and dig the other 30 feet out. And then the reason that the hole is CG'd in the video is because of safety, right? We need.
BaySMR just says, I wonder if he is a vendor or something, like not directly related to the Mr. Beast LLC, possibly. To be honest, he's this Soggy guy. He has given us so many, you know, not anonymous individuals that I'm not fussed by one person being obscured, and at least we're hearing their voice. You know what I mean? With all of the different ex-Mr. Beast employees or current Mr. Beast employees who had been in Dogpack's video, not one of them were willing to come forward. And whether you believe what was said by Dogpack or whether you believe what's being said by Soggy, I think we can all agree that one does appear to look or present more as credible, in my opinion.
Needed to create a back wall the train wouldn't crash into and potentially kill people. So the hole is a little bit bigger than the video that we put lifts and cameras on that were far enough away that the train wouldn't hit them and no one would die, right? So it was all a safety concern. It was not about faking a hole at all.
War crime stuff, that was a joke. Why did you make that joke?
I didn't work on that video. I was obviously, I was in the company at the time. I was working on a separate project.
Oh, okay. So he's talking to Jake Weddle's friend, Dustin, who is the producer at Mr. Beast, about when he said to Jake Weddle, this is a literal war crime, which, if you remember at the beginning of this video, was one of the claims that we all kind of found a little bit dicey. Because, of course, like, a lot of jokes can be made in jest and be rooted in truth. So I also do believe that Jake Weddle's experience, in my humble opinion, was inhumane. It doesn't make a difference whether it was jovially said or not. Obviously, upon reflection, you can look back and think, actually, yeah, that was kind of crazy. That was a denial of my human rights. I believe that that's fair. So this is what this Dustin guy's talking about.
And I got a call and they were like, hey, Jake's not doing so hot. So I came in and the assessment was accurate. He was not doing so hot. Okay. I just kind of like, I was talking to him, I was trying to cheer him up, and I made that joke. It's a war crime. I didn't think it was going to turn into a bunch of thumbnails and titles on YouTube, but like it was serious. I mean, it was obviously a joke, and it was definitely framed a little more maliciously in the video.
They didn't insinuate it as a joke in the video. They didn't show like the war crime, like definition of war crimes while it's being said. Which, can you talk a bit about, like, since you were friends with Jake Weddle, did he talk about it afterwards or during?
I don't know. I would say that Jake's recollection of the events where he's like, that's a war crime. You're not allowed to do that to criminals. Like, the way he was saying it gave across that it was a joke, that it was jovial. I don't think it's like, just with the definition being there was a denial of it being jovial. I would say that it's a case of, this was jovial, but in reality, actually kind of sus. Like, I feel like this was a fair point for Dogpack to make. And that's where I'm going to draw the line. But here's the thing. Like, with Dogpack's videos, we have factually incorrect pieces of evidence being presented to us in a way that incriminates a lot of people that definitely weren't supposed to be incriminated, right? And then with this video, we have things that are a little bit more like open to interpretation, opinion-based, that weren't necessarily hard, concrete pieces of evidence based in fact. Right now, we're hearing from Dustin, who's saying, well, from my point of view, like, this was a joke. And we're hearing from Jake Weddle, who's like, yeah, it might have been a joke, but actually it's kind of rooted in reality, right? So that's where it's kind of up in the air. But the point that I'm making is that the difference between Soggy is we have few things more up to interpretation, looking for that place of nuance. And then with Dogpack's video, we have a lot of things that are just factually incorrect. Doesn't matter which way you slice or dice it, factually incorrect.
We know, like, how it came to be that he had such a rough time in that challenge. In that isolation challenge.
Again, I didn't work on the video, so all I can do is I can kind of speculate. So I'll answer you by saying the process we normally go through when we cast. We usually find someone who we think is going to be good for a video, and we usually work with them leading up to the video, letting them know not exactly the challenges that we're going to be doing, but roundabout the level of difficulty that the challenges are going to be, and then we kind of lay out the challenge, right? We'd never really had that issue up to that point, and we haven't ever had that issue since that point. We've even done videos like the Trap Together video that had really, really similar aspects to the video Jake was in, and they had a positive experience after the fact. I mean, it was a tough challenge for them, but they released these videos after the fact. Now, that doesn't take away the way that Jake felt.
I did watch that video as well, but I was under the impression that that one was kind of reworked after the Jake situation went so badly that they couldn't air it. You know what I mean? Like, they reworked the rules, they reworked how it was done, because if I'm not mistaken, in Jake Weddle's video, they said when they tried this challenge again, you know, they had like a rotating night and dark, like a light time and dark time, like lights on and lights off, in order to simulate like the hours of the day and all that kind of stuff, so that the person who was in isolation, or the people who were in isolation, had some kind of regulation of time, so it wasn't a denial of their human rights. So I still am leaning more towards the side of Jake Weddle in this particular situation. I don't think that this one holds up.
In that video, and I would never do that. You know, I saw the guy; he was not doing so hot. You know, and I don't know what happened in there specifically to make that happen. I don't, you know, I know Jake. He's not lying when he said he had a bad time. You know, I don't want to say that it was 100% Jake is the reason that challenge didn't turn out the way that it was supposed to turn out. Some people approach challenges just completely different, and that's the thing. Is my brain tells me that if other people have gone through similar challenges and they've turned out okay, then maybe it's not the challenge. And I'm not the type of person that holds grudges. And I know I still work here now, and I know he's still making videos. And I know people, like, I have friends that are like, I can't believe you're still talking to Jake Weddle. And I'm like, you know, in 10 years, none of this is going to matter between him and I. And I'm sure we'll have a beer together, because it's, in the grand scheme of things, my friendship with him is more important than anything anybody's going to say online. When he spoke out, I know what he ran into as well. I know he ran into people that sent him hate. I know he ran into people that were sending him death threats. I know that he got doxxed. I know his phone number got leaked. And in that scenario, you know, as messed up as it sounds, like, he couldn't really turn to any of his friends at Beast, because he kind of just, you know, would be kind of...
So he's kind of like somewhat empathetic about the fact that, like, after all of this happened, so many negative things happened for Jake Weddle, and he's like, I'm willing to let bygones be bygones on all of this, because when it turned to anybody who would have been able to really understand your point of view, like the people at Mr. Beast, you don't even have them to turn to, because they feel slighted by how all this has come along, primarily because of Dogpat 404. Jake said it in a way that was like, he didn't want to think it was true, but kind of felt he was mistreated at the end of the day. Bay ASMR, you've been coming through with so much good commentary. 110%. 110%. I feel like it was something that was rooted in truth. You know what I mean? It's like how you can, like, we all know it. Girls, we're all in the chat right now. And guys, and people of, you know, no specific gender. It doesn't really matter. We've all been through a situation, right, where we look back on a previous relationship or a previous situation with a family member or a loved one or something, and then we think, actually, that was kind of fucking toxic, and it's wild that I lived through that. You don't realize it at the moment, but in retrospect, you look back and you go, no, that's crazy. I think back to times like when I was a teenager and stuff, and I was like, that adult sexualized me. They were 26, you're weird. Like, and I didn't think about it like that at the time. I was like, oh my God, 26-year-old boyfriend, I'm so cool. But no, that guy was 10 years your senior. Like, why was he trying to hang out with you? That's kind of weird. That's the kind of stuff, like, these traumatic experiences that we go through in life, and then we look back in retrospect and we're like, no, that was kind of crazy, and that should never have happened. That's what he's talking about. And I feel like that's fair, and Jake has every right to feel some kind of way about that, in my opinion. And the Amber chick's like, oh my God, yes. Snaps in chat. Ladies, if you feel me, Holly, if you hear me, snaps in chat for that one, because we've all been there where we've looked at a traumatic situation and we've been like, hold on, why did we all allow this?
Conflict. Kind of just upset everyone at Beast. I mean, like, who does he have to turn to? He has to turn towards Rosanna and Dogpack and all the people that are making these videos about us. I mean, I think he found a family and he found a home. I don't fault the guy for sticking with that little group of people making videos. Like,
you know what's a crazy thing? Being a person who's been on YouTube and has had a lot of friendships and descends and all that kind of stuff, let me tell you, as soon as this whole situation with Mr. Beast dies down, I promise you, these people won't speak. Not like that, bro. They will not speak. After time goes on and their mutual bond over disliking Mr. Beast and feeling slighted by him in some way dissolves, they'll realize that they really don't have much to talk about. 100%. It's always the way it goes on social media. Everyone's besties until they're not besties.
It just makes sense.
So something I also want to ask you about is about Lokoya Hill. And there was some mismanagement from him towards his assistant. There are some allegations out there, but nothing concrete so far. And can you tell me a bit about what really went on with Lokoya Hill?
Yeah, so like just to kind of give you that guy on, and like when someone reports something to HR, which would have been me at the time because it was years ago. Yeah. Whenever somebody reports it, I go, hey, okay, like, thank you, I appreciate it. We're gonna make sure that we do everything we can to look into it. Then we always hire a third party company, either a lawyer or someone that's like not here to like prove one person right or wrong. But like
okay, so that's kind of good. That's good practice. And if it was her at the time, and obviously she's a hiring manager, she's not so vested in HR and probably, I imagine, unqualified. I think that that's really good protocol, in my opinion.
Biased party, and so then like everybody talks to him, like the person, his assistant would have talked to them, LaKoya would have talked to them, and any person that they named as witnesses or potential proof of text messages, like pictures, anything like this company would have dealt with, and then they write a report and then they go, hey, here's what you should do, right? And so that's what they do. And then internally what we do is like, okay, the assistant, like, what do you want to happen, right? If it's this, if it's that, like obviously if it's found.
Okay, so she's, in my humble opinion, this is my perspective, she's now saying that what we do is we offer some kind of benefit to the person to make this all go away and to protect the company. This is where I'm like, eek territory, because it's like, so after all of this takes place, say if a member of staff gets SA'd, they're going to send it to the external team. The external team are going to do the investigation. Great protocol, great practice for a business, especially a small bustling business, which I imagine this was at the time. And then shortly after that, she will sit down with them and say, how much money can we give you to make this go away? That's what I'm taking away from this. And I don't like that. I don't like that. I feel like before the discussion of any kind of settlement in terms of lawsuits and stuff should be taken, I feel like we should be at least taking care of our people's mental health, like getting them therapy, like paying and sponsoring for therapy for a period of time. Do you get what I mean? And also putting them in contact. This would be me if I was running an ethical company, putting them in contact with a lawyer of their own so that they, you know, if should they pursue litigation, they have the opportunity to, and allowing them to have that moment. Because if we faltered and it's been so bad that it's in a court of law, then we faltered and she deserves everything. That's how I feel. But, girl, I'm not in business because I'd lose money. Yeah, this was very HR coded, very, and I don't like it. It feels less about the care and concern about the individual who had to go through something and more about how we can make this go away so it doesn't affect us. Like, what you're going through, your trauma at the hands of this company, it's affecting us, and we don't like this look. How much can I pay you to make this go away? Like, I don't like that.
Like, he's gone. Like, that's not okay in any workplace, you know?
If it's like confirmed that there is something. Yeah.
Okay, so she's also saying that they instantaneously fire the person, which, I mean, upon an investigation, of course.
Of course, like, we're not going to hang on to that, right? And so, and he was like, yeah, I don't necessarily want him to be fired, but like, I don't want to be around him. I don't want to see him. Like, it's just really uncomfortable for me, you know? So we're like, okay, great. So like, I actually worked with him to come up with a list of like jobs that he wanted, because again, if the person who he's assisting is not here, like it's like, okay, well now what's your job? Like, so it was like we came up with everything he was.
Here's the thing, because they haven't like, you know, moderated her emotions and making sure that, you know, everything's okay, going to somebody immediately after something inappropriate has happened hasn't given them enough time, in my humble opinion, for any kind of recollection to be able to make an appropriate response. Like your work colleague who, this is just me thinking externally, your work colleague who, you know, may have SA'd you, and maybe not SA, but like SH you at some point, you might have thought, oh, haha, he was trying to be funny, but it was really inappropriate. I don't want him to get fired, but maybe you should move somewhere else. And then thinking about it in like when you really deep it after a period of time and being like, no, that guy should be fired. Do you get what I mean? Like, that's why moderating people's emotions and being able to hook them up with, you know, good therapy and being able to regulate the way it is that they feel and actually talk through some of their grievances with an external party to the company is beneficial. Because I feel like we're looking for fast answers that protect the company and doesn't actually allow the swift-handed justice to actually occur, because people need to be able to realize their feelings.
He was interested in like what he wanted to do and stuff like that, and move him into a different role. And we said, hey, you won't have to see LaKoya again. We're gonna like move.
Bay just says, I wonder how many people he has harassed since then. Yeah, and that's the problem, because people aren't able to realize their feelings.
Him completely out. It wasn't a secret. Like, we moved him to a new company idea that we had, He was the only person in that company. He wasn't even on site. He wasn't working in the building. He wasn't anything like that. Like, we just said, hey, we think this is a cool idea. Go figure it out.
High key should have been fired, though. Like, whether it's like they're holding it on the basis, oh, the person this happened to wanted him to stay in the company and didn't want him to be fired. So we decided to move him instead. No, girl. The person who did whatever to this person deserves to be reprimanded to the fullest extent. That's just how I feel.
And so he went on his own to go figure that out. And then the assistant worked with us for a long time. And then when he wasn't here anymore, I think it was like almost a year after the assistant like had, you know, chosen to do whatever he wanted to do. Then we were like, okay, we'll bring LaQuaya back to help, because at this point
there's no conflict anymore.
So that's really what it was. Like, it was no.
So they're essentially saying that he returned to a more higher profile position after that staff member had vacated the company. I don't like that. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't like that. This one's another dud for me. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Oh, we're gonna go hide LaQuaya over here, and like, I mean, even now, LaQuaya doesn't work for us anymore.
Most of the time he was there was consumed in trying to get an Apple Vision Pro.
Any weird stories circulating or whatever of something Dawson did at the company, or?
I heard that he told the chef that his food was trash.
I heard that story too, yeah. And then he like denied it in a video afterwards, and I talked about that, but
I'm not sure how much truth there is to that, but I mean, maybe we could call him and see like, hey, this is Emily from Ideation.
Hey, Emily, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Cool. Well, I'm here with Soggy. I wanted to ask you.
Okay, I'm glad that she said that she was with him and this is what she was doing, because I was like, oh, are we recording another person without their consent?
I have a question to ask you about Dawson, but I want to make sure you're comfortable being recorded first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Bitch. Crossing your T's and dotting your what? Me, myself, and I.
So I heard a rumor circulating that Dawson told you that your food was trash. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
It was the first time I actually met him. It was kind of after his tour, you know, of our studio and such. And he actually came over, you know, tried some of the food that we had in the fridge, and then proceeded to tell me it tasted like shit, and that he wishes that we would cater more frequently.
Wow.
Because, yeah, which is fairly interesting, because I'm not sure if I had introduced myself or maybe he just felt comfortable enough to tell me the food tasted like shit.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how it went, my first interaction with him. And then other than that, I really had no other interaction or wanting to have any other interaction with him after that.
Okay, so it says, Mr. Beast security cameras all over Studio C. If they can find footage of me ever insulting the prep chefs cooking, I'll donate $1K to charity of their choice. It might not be video footage, but will you still be donating $1K to a charity of their choice? Ooh, yikes.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm really sorry to hear that, but I disagree. I think your food is great.
Recently, there was this video that started getting some traction. One of the clinics where some of the eye surgeries were happening.
Oh, okay, so the video said resolved. That was the last thing is that I heard about Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast had done this, like, curing the blind for 1,000 people or something like that, something along those lines, getting rid of, like, really easily treatable eye issues like glaucoma and stuff like that. And so that people who, you know, had little to no vision could see again. And apparently the company it was that facilitated all of this didn't get paid by Mr. Beast. But apparently they're saying now that it's been resolved. So let's see what's being said here.
And helping 1,000 people see for the first time. And they claimed that the Mr. Beast company hadn't paid for any of the surgeries yet. Can you talk a bit about that?
Essentially, when we did that video, we worked with a third party. And that third party worked with a bunch of different organizations all around the world because we were trying to spread it as far as we could, multiple countries. Yeah. So we had one center third party that we were working with.
Okay, so it wasn't going to be like one particular eye surgery. There was like eye surgery companies all across the world because it was a global thing it was doing.
And they kind of worked with all these. One of those organizations somewhere around the world didn't receive the compensation. We only worked with the third party. We paid them for 1,800 surgeries.
Oh, 1,800, so not 1,000.
Yeah. We kept going after 1,000. We just worked with them. And we did more than 1,000, but the title of 1,000 sounds a lot better. So we just says 1,000, and it looks good. Yeah. So we worked with that third party, and that third party, I don't know what communication error happened between them and the other organization, but some way or another that organization ended up not being funded properly. Okay. And then when it came across our desk that the missing loop happened, we just went around the third party we originally worked with to compensate them. Yeah. And they've put out a video since talking about it.
We're doing a video where we're trying to help people walking.
Yeah, I know about that. Yeah.
Actively, partners have pulled out because of these videos. There are people who will not walk or will have to delay in them walking because of the videos that Dogpack made.
That was
unironically, like I was getting pitched ideas like Jimmy trying every drug in existence.
That was also like a serious idea that he had.
Yeah,
joke.
So they're saying that one of the ideas that Dogpack brought forward was Jimmy trying every drug in existence. The guy who knows that his majority audience are kids. That is so bad. Oh, Dogpack's a POS. I am so sorry. There's no two ways about this now for me. 100%. 100%. What an awful human being. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And then you're sitting there pitching, Jimmy tries all the drugs in existence. I need you to so be for real. So be for real.
It again goes back to like the, no, I'm joking. Because if I pitch you an idea of like Jimmy tries every drug and you're like, that's sick. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, but if I would go like, that's kind of weird.
I'd be like, whoa, it's a joke. Whoa, you're taking that weird. I was just putting that in as a joke. Like, that's crazy.
How in depth he went on like how viewer psychology works. So he obviously knows how like every part of a video can manipulate the viewer in some way or form. And you can see that both by that video he made to apply at the Mr. Beast channel, but also you can see that just in the videos he made. Yeah. You know, the Mr. Beast, the fraud videos and stuff.
Jimmy McGill just says, so he calls out Feastables chocolate because it's bad for kids, but wants Mr. Beast to use drugs in front of his child's audience. Like literally, that's where we're at right now.
He accuses the Mr. Beast company of really trying to psychologically target children and like manipulate children. Is there any truth to that in the ideation team? And like, did he try to bring his like skills of viewer psychology into ideation? Did he try to do that?
Yes to that. Yes to trying to bring the skills of viewer psychology into ideation, and also trying to like bleed it over to creative. Yeah. So that way we could figure out like, okay, well, you know, psychologically a near miss is going to be the craziest thing that we could do here. We should do that, which he has on his like Miro boards, where it's like the exact things that he calls Jimmy out for. If he was here for longer than a month, he would know that we were actively working at aging up our content, because that was something that we were like very cognizant of is, hey, we should make our content something that is appealing and enjoyable to like people who are older. Like, who are the people that aren't watching our videos? Probably 30 to 40 to 50 to even 60-year-olds. How do we make our videos enjoyable for those guys? Yeah. So we're hitting a general audience. Now you could argue, yeah, a general audience. I mean, we need to make a video that like a 10-year-old and a 90-year-old can understand, which is the same for the challenges that we have to do in videos like that anyways. When we do a video like ages 1 to 100, fight for blah, 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 we have to make a challenge so simple to understand and easy to process that a literal 1-year-old and a 99 to 100-year-old can understand. Yeah. Like, we need to keep that in mind. Yeah. That's just generalizing.
Okay, is Mr. Beast evil? Hannah M just says, hey kids, have you ever seen a dead body? Like, what? Yeah, it's definitely giving Logan Paul vibes. Okay, so we're at, is Mr. Beast evil? And so far, everything has been crossed out besides Ava Chris Tyson is a degenerate, which I think we can all agree with, and Jake Weddle has a cross and a tick next to it. So I feel like we're still in the unsure over the Jake Weddle allegations, whether he believes whether it was a joke or not. So I guess the final thing to look into now is the illegal lottery #1. Do you know what it gives me? Remember when all of those influencers, like back in 2017, like Alfie Days and stuff, were like trying to survive off minimum wage for 1 week, and it's like the rest of us actually have to live like this, you absolute fucking cretin. Do you remember that? They were getting dragged trying to survive off £1 for a week, and it's like, no, the rest of us really are, like, we do be living living like that, okay? Sometimes we're checking whether we should put the light on or feed ourselves, okay?
I went all the way from America and back, and all I gotta show for it is this ugly plushie and this fart gun from Minions. And the interviews I held, by the way, which did clarify a lot. I think I personally finally realized how big of a company and how many people actually work at MrBeast. It's not like a small 10 people thing as it was a few years ago. And I'm glad that the interviews clarified Jake Weddle's experience and didn't end up invalidating his personal perspective, but did add some context that it might have not been the challenge that was terrible, but he himself wasn't mentally in the best state in life at that point. But there's one more thing I have to clarify for everyone, and that is the illegal lottery number 1, which on my flight back
So just to give you guys some context, if you've just joined or whatever, we've already gone through illegal lottery number 2 and number 3 that have both been disproven because there was adequate acknowledgement from MrBeast and the team that, you know, what they were doing was free to enter, etc. Either vocally or in the description box of the video it was that they were live streaming. So this is the final one. If all illegal lotteries could be proven to be false, that's a dud on all of the illegal lotteries. So MrBeast runs an illegal lottery we can say is unfounded. So let's see what he has to say about this one.
Finally found some proof that the first illegal lottery was in fact illegal. There was no purchase necessary in the description, no mention of it at all. Yeah, it was illegal. And personally,
do you know what? Props to him. This is what journalism is. It's because we can now see visually a whole sea of red, and there are only a few things that seem to be truth. But do you see how this is like a visual representative of like how a sea of infactual pieces of information can make the ones that are actually valid feel so much more small. Jake Weddle, in my humble opinion, definitely went through something that I believe to be inhumane. That plight now feels so much smaller by everything else that is factually incorrect. Ava Chris Tyson is a giant piece of shit, and I hope we never see her a single day ever again for the rest of our fucking lives. I'm terrified for her child. I'm gonna be real fucking honest here. Terrified for her child. If Ava Chris Tyson being a G-Gen is something that is important for us to know so we can all be vigilant here on the internet, it feels so much smaller because of all of the freaking misinformation it is that we have been digesting. And that is such a huge one. Like the pin at the top of the board of where we need to focus, Ava Chris Tyson should be there. And yet feels so much smaller in the light of all of these reds. And then we have the illegal lottery. MrBeast, on his first attempt at an illegal lottery, did it wrong. Sorry, a lottery, shall I say, not an illegal, not that it was intentional for legal purposes. But MrBeast, whilst attempting to do some kind of lottery, did that illegally. However, he has since learned in the other 2 ones he did correctly. But even though that was a monumental misstep that he probably hasn't atoned for at all, that feels so small when we see the whole sea of red. And this was the exact same point that I was trying to make in the previous video is that I made about Rosanna Pansino and Dogpat 404, because I believe that when we take these allegations that are not based in truth, and at that point I only thought there was 2 allegations. I didn't think there was all of this. But even with the 2 allegations, we've got to be vigilant, we've got to cross our T's, we've got to dot our I's. That was my only take home from that entire video. Yet people could not digest that. It was MrBeast bad, so it doesn't matter. MrBeast bad, but does it mean that a whole crew of people should lose their jobs because of misinformation? Does it mean that the company shouldn't try and better themselves? Does it mean that MrBeast isn't doing good even in silence when we don't even hear about it? Like there being over 1,800 patients who ended up getting their eyes sorted, but we were only told 1,000. We were only told 1,000 because it looked better for YouTube. But in fact, they did almost double that amount of patients. Like stuff like MrBeast giving individuals 40 grand plus an additional 10,000 just for the inconvenience of COVID completely ruining their shoots. These are the things that we're not even hearing about. And whether you think it's performative or whatever, the fact is, regardless, he did right by that situation. And I think that the intent, in my humble opinion, by MrBeast, even if the execution is shit, is always to try and do it correctly. And I think that's probably one of the primary reasons why he has removed himself from the company and not stayed as the CEO and all that kind of stuff. I think he realizes that he's kind of in above his head. But then we also go into the broader conversation as well about how YouTubers who are at a stratospheric, like these influencers who are at a stratospheric level in terms of YouTube and how it can literally be an upfront competitor of mainstream media in the amount of viewership it is that they get on a day-to-day basis, how they navigate from turning from one person doing videos and trying to hustle on YouTube as an influencer to that level, and where in that journey does somebody need to start having real mainstream media level regulation. And that's the bigger discussion that needed to be had. But because Mr. Beast bad wasn't the general consensus of the entire video, and again, I have to say, there are hundreds of Mr. Beast videos out there right now. If you want to find a Mr. Beast video talking about how terrible he is, you will find one, okay? I didn't want to come to the internet to just like bring you the exact same video it is that you've seen 50 billion times before on YouTube. This is also the reason why somebody like CoffeeZilla, who has been really delving deep into Mr. Beast's crypto scams. Now, I must admit, I'm not hugely versed with crypto, and I cannot understand that video, and I'm not even going to attempt to understand something like that. But apparently he has been bang on the money with all of his investigation, and he has begun to give a nuanced perspective about what it means to have insider knowledge when it comes to cryptocurrency and gambling and all of these kind of things that Mr. Beast will have his name associated to. I think that the reason that people aren't having an issue with somebody who is as thorough as CoffeeZilla versus this is worlds away. And I think if we want to champion something, we need to champion people like Soggy, who clearly is doing the work, like CoffeeZilla, who clearly is delving deep into the pits of hell of cryptocurrency to talk about Mr. Beast's like bad dealings. And that's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. Let's finish this video. I've talked too much.
Jimmy has to own up for it. Either by donating the amount of profit he made in that live stream to a charity, or by refunding everyone who bought a shirt in that stream, but that's like so many years ago, so I don't know if that's a possibility. Or do a giveaway live stream where everything is given away for free, with no merch sales attached. However, I do also want to note that most YouTubers, including me, didn't know that you could do something like an illegal lottery. So since only the first one was illegal, I feel like it might have been a mistake. I don't know. I can't say that for sure. Just as the question if Mr. Beast is evil isn't for me to say, but again for you, the viewer, to decide. Because there is some shit that he should be criticized for and has to be looked into. I know CoffeeZilla is doing an investigation into his crypto stuff, and once that releases, I hope that clarifies some things. Because those are some serious allegations. And that wasn't of like stupid adolescent Jimmy, 19 years old, and hiring someone without doing background checks. That was like 3 years ago, way more recent, that he should be held accountable for if he did commit crimes with crypto. So yeah, go check CoffeeZilla's video on that once it releases. I couldn't really investigate the crypto stuff because I don't know shit about crypto, and I didn't want to be hypocritical like Dogpack and talk about shit I don't know anything about. Because that
He said you don't know nothing. He said you don't know nothing. I'm not going to be hypocritical like Dogpack, who decides to talk about shit he don't even know about. I live for the sass. This is a 10 out of 10 spicy video.
That's basically what Dawson has been doing for the past few months. I feel like Jimmy has to become way more transparent because that is how he got in all this trouble in the first place. They really have to start a Mr. Beast behind the scenes channel to upload behind the scenes footage there. And stop with the deceptive shit. When you do a sponsor read, don't make the yellow bar go real fast at the start to make the viewer believe that, you know, oh, this advertisement isn't gonna take long, I won't skip over it. But then at the end of it, make the visual timer suddenly run way slower.
I didn't know that he did that. That is so sucky. Shall I tell you why that's so sucky? Editing page here, right? That bar is a manual, like it's like a plugin that you can put in, right? So I will, if I'm allowed to add that in adverts, which most sponsors do request that you don't add any kind of timer onto the adverts, hence why it's not something that gets used very regularly. But when you're Mr. Beast, you can do what you want, right? When that timer goes across, it's literally something that you drag and drop onto the page. In order to intentionally make it go faster and slower, that means you would have had to have manually edited the graphic in order to do so. And if that's the case, and that means keyframe by keyframe, which is going to take time, girl. So if that's the case, that is extremely intentional. And this is what I mean about crossing our T's and dotting our I's. That is something that I completely miss. I've seen Mr. Beast adverts, and I always think, God, they're always really fast. Maybe they're not fast. Maybe they're the same 1 minute specification the rest of us are getting, but it feels faster because it went faster at the beginning. Ooh, that's a good find. That is good. Every time I see a Mr. Beast video, I think to myself, his adverts are always so fast. Oh, well, when you're Mr. Beast, you can do anything. Maybe it's not. I would actually genuinely love to watch a Mr. Beast ad read all the way through and see if it is up to a minute. Because most sponsors want you to do a minute. But does it feel like it's 30 seconds because of the way he does it? Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good.
That's not just deceptive, I think that's pretty disrespectful towards your audience. And I know that there are still questions that you guys probably have with stuff that I just couldn't address because there is so much, but I can forward you to some other people who have talked about stuff that I might have forgotten in this video. You know, if you want to know some more about Beast Games and the Beast Games lawsuit, definitely check out Stucky's channel. He did a great deep dive on that, and I made many other videos on the whole.
He made a great deep dive on that, and it's 5 minutes. Laughs in 2-hour videos. A deep dive, it's 5 minutes. Literally, I can't not talk for that amount of time. Like, my videos will forever struggle to be less than half an hour.
Dogpack Mr. Beast situation. And again, once CoffeeZilla's investigation on the crypto stuff is out there, I highly recommend you to go watch that, because that'll clarify a lot of stuff that I don't know anything about. Because I trust those investigative creators 10,000 times more than I do Dawson. Instead of having competent people investigate serious accusations, he's just been throwing baseless shit at the wall and hoping some stuff sticks with the audience. He is incompetent, petty, a liar, deceptive, and after all this, I just know that he is a disgruntled employee.
Stop! Stop it immediately. He is already dead. Okay? Stop. This is just body abuse at this point. He is already dead. Let him go, okay?
I've been investigating this for like the past 3 months, and I really hope that I was able—
Katie lady just came and she goes, finish him!
able to answer some questions you guys had before watching this video. Also, Jimmy, stop the collabs with Logan Paul. If you want to see some more of my interviews or some extra additional context that I have but wasn't able to put in this video, let me know in the comments below. I might talk about it on my socials, so make sure to check those out in the description, as well as maybe post some stuff on my second channel, so make sure to check that out as well. Thank you everyone for watching. Thanks for joining my cereal bowl so I can absorb all of your fibers and nutrients, and I hope that the Mr. Beast drama is finally over now, because at this point, I'm sick and tired of it.
That was an extremely good video.
Yes.
I definitely suggest that you guys check out the Soggy Cereal channel. He definitely did an amazing job on this video. Right, just to re-up real quick, we are going to go over the intro to this video again, listen to some of the words it is that I said in my previous video, and see if it relates to the new information it is that we have found out together on this wonderful live stream. So let's check that out, and I'll come back with my thoughts. Bad information, corrupted evidence, misinformation, and just bad journalism has had the potential to ruin an entire case. And knowing when to just gracefully bow out is the difference between somebody getting their karmic justice or just walking away scot-free. So that is why it is so important when dealing with claims of this nature, every single thing has to be correct. You need to cross your T's and dot your I's and admit your faults. Well, recently, content creators Rosanna Pansino and Dogpack404 have essentially made a mockery of what is essentially plausible cause for concern. 1, Mr. Beast's mismanagement of contestants and staff's welfare, and 2, Ava Chris Tyson's affiliations to CP, as well as grooming allegations. Now you must be wondering to yourself, how on earth is Mr. Beast tied to CP allegations? Well, because of misreporting. The information was disseminated to us incorrectly. And both Dogpack and Rosanna Pansino are completely unwilling to admit that they've got a few things wrong. Willing to be so stubborn, in fact, that they are willing to corrupt extremely valid claims against Ava Chris Tyson in order to incriminate Mr. Beast. Right now, it's clear that Rosanna Pansino and Dogpack have prioritized speed and sensationalism over accuracy and responsibility. This isn't ethical journalism, because honestly, we need social media just as much as we need law enforcement in order to work together to make these investigations stay grounded in facts and truth, rather than speculation. Because we are living in a new era where information is spreading faster than ever before. So responsible reporting is critical to preserving justice, as well as protecting innocent victims, and they should be at the center of this. So, what is my conclusion on today's video? I think that Soggy Serial did a absolutely brilliant job at putting together such a well-rounded video of everything to do with Mr. Beast and the allegations that Dogpack and others have levied against Mr. Beast. I think it's a shame that a video of this magnitude had to be made so that we could all see how many different holes there were to poke in a story. I don't think that the story would have even been poked into as hard as it was had Dogpack, Rosanna Pansino, and other people who were involved in this story had done the work it is that they needed to do to sweep up behind themselves when they made a bad judgment or said something that was incorrect or wrong. We are all humans. We all make mistakes. It is literally our human nature to get things wrong. But it's about what we do when we get those things wrong. Do we leave videos up, leave misinformation to fly across social media, or do we do our parts as individuals to make sure that the record is always straight so that the people who deserve their justice get their moment in the way that they deserve? I feel like Dogpack, Rosanna Pansino, and people who have been involved in this story have centered themselves, their feelings, their emotions above the individuals who genuinely need their plights to be heard. Mr. Beast, it seems, is trying his best to at least clear up the mess it is that he's made, whether that is performative or something it is that he really genuinely wants to do. But I think that Mr. Beast has a long way to go. But is he ever going to get his just desserts if the rest of us are focusing so heavily on incorrect information? He can now walk away seeing that so much misinformation has been spiraled and say, I didn't do any of it. Some of it's correct. And this is something that we've seen in the past, like with James Charles when he came back with his previous video about holding himself accountable, where he said that some of the allegations were true. But then we think about some of the allegations that actually do seem plausible, like the 14-year-old boy who made a video speaking about how he was SA'd or SH'd by James Charles when he was 14 years old with profiles that visibly showed his age. I will never let that go. You've seen the photo in the back. I will never let that go. That makes me sick to my stomach that his voice is not heard because of so much information. Because if there is anybody who I believe has been abused in that whole situation, it is definitely that young boy called Ethan. And because of situations like that, and because of situations like this, those people never get heard. With that being said, as always, usually when I'm right, I am insufferable.
Ooh, prepare to be sick of me. Prepare right now to be sick of me.
Never trust anybody on the internet. And until next time, you beautiful, amazing, badass bitches, thank you so much for joining tonight's live stream. This live stream will be made into a video. I hope you guys have enjoyed your lovely Saturday night. And until next time, it's me, Paige. Bye. You prepared to be sick of me.